Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to get you styled up with Stitch Fix. Shopping's hard. It's hard. With Stitch Fix, you get a stylist, though, who understands your style, your size, your budget, and they do all the shopping for you.
Wow.
This is excellent. Shopping, I'm telling you, shopping and figure out your style, it's overwhelming. Let somebody help you when it comes to getting dressed. We don't know what we're doing, so we let Stitch Fix help us out. A Stitch Fix stylist there. They know what works on us. We get the prices that make us look really good, and it feels good. You get some confidence boost walking around knowing that you're looking decent here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just give the stylist our sizes, style, budget preferences. We order boxes when we want, how we want, no subscription or any of that required. And they send called Just For Me pieces as well. Like, maybe you'd like this, and it's awesome. Outfit recommendations, styling tips. You keep what you love, you send back the rest. It's super easy.
Yep.
You can do it, and we are doing it because it's excellent. Personal styling for everyone. Get started today at stitchfix.com/STM. That's stitchfix.com/STM.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you about Noom. Has Noom helped you? I believe it has.
Oh, that's got an app. You can do tracking. It's terrific.
It does. And Noom builds personal plans that can meet individual needs. That's the thing. Takes into account any dietary restrictions, medical issues, other personal needs. That helps build a plan that works for you. And yes, so I know that you've had your own personalized program here that you've been working on. And
it's weight loss This is weight loss results that last. They stick around because you get yourself into a lifestyle change. That's what matters.
That's mainly it. You can't just say, I'm going to cut that out for a month and then go back to it. That's not what it is. So I'm glad it's helping you. That's great. And it really does. I like the psychology and biology-based approach here. Yeah. Noom Weight uses psychology. That's why they say losing weight starts with your brain, but it also takes into account your unique biological factors, Jimmy. All of your multitude flora and fauna that goes on inside of you there.
Sure. Yeah.
Stay focused on what's important to you with Noom's psychology and biology-based approach. Sign up for your trial today at Noom.com, Noom.com here. Based on 3.5-year study of actively engaged Noom users with minimum starting BMI of 25. Individual results may vary. Visit our website for more information.
Welch's knows some things make zero sense, like why the algorithm knows your music tastes better than you do. But zero sugar and full flavor? We made that make sense with new Welch's Zero Sugar. All that passion fruit or tropical punch goodness and none of the sugar. You gotta sip it to get it. New Welch's Zero Sugar. Let's fruit stuff up.
This week, in North Adams, Massachusetts, tension builds and the situation escalates between two people until one day when police and neighbors walk into an absolute bloodbath. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I am Jimmie Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us. And, Jimmy, that is the appropriate amount of enthusiasm for this show. I appreciate it. Good shit. There we go.
Back in it to win it, James. Let's go.
Absolutely. I love it. Thank you for joining us this week. We, of course, have an absolutely insane story, as usual. Obviously. Hope you enjoyed all the last few episodes. We've had a real crazy run for the last 5 years or so.
We're really doing it.
We're doing it. So thank you for your reviews, first of all. Whatever platform you're listening on, reviews help. So thank you for those, first of all. Thank you for going to shutupandgivememurder.com, where you can get first of all, your merchandise and all of your cool T-shirts, which we put new ones up all the time, and your tickets to live shows.
Yeah.
My goodness, get your tickets to live shows. Coming up next, we have, where the hell are we, Jimmy?
We're in
Detroit.
But we're also, before that, we're going to be at your house doing a virtual live show.
May 5th We are doing a virtual live show. It'll be available for 72 hours that whole weekend, obviously. We're going to have a party that night. We're going to it's going to be a good time with a crazy
have
story.
tacos and tequila with us on Cinco de Mayo.
There you go. Have fun. Yeah. We'll definitely have that, I'm sure. Tequila.
I can't wait.
I know you'll have tequila. It's going to be... It's going to be a long night, everybody. It's going to be good shit, so do that. Virtual live show.
Get your guacamole twice.
Oh, baby, you will, too. With tequila. Oh, it's worse with tequila mixed in.
It will be, yeah. A little sour.
Check that out. ShutUpAndGiveMeMurder.com. Also, Patreon.com/Crime and Sports is where you get all the extra stuff. And boy, do we have some wild ones this week. Can't wait. They don't really need that much explanation, we'll say. No. First of all, $5 or more, you get access to everything. Crime and Sports bonus episode, Small Town Murder bonus, whole back catalog.
Yes.
A lot of stuff on there. For Crime and Sports, you will have... We're going to talk about when Tiger Woods got attacked by his wife with a golf club.
Oh, fantastic.
And why that was and what he was doing to cause that. And that is... What a story that is. It's like a tooth. It's like, wow, I didn't know the roots went that deep. It's wild. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
On face value, you go, why would somebody react like that?
Yeah, and then you go, oh, I get it.
Oh.
And then for Small Town Murder, doesn't need that much explanation. The prisoner dating game is back, everybody. It's been 6 months, so it's time for a prisoner dating game. This is the all-felon prisoner dating game. Yes. I'm going to give Jimmie four young men, 4 young ladies. He's going to choose one of each based on only their descriptions and them selling themselves, and then he's going to find out what they did to end up where they are. Oh, it's going to be amazing. They're always our best episodes.
James. We started doing that years ago before Love After Lockup, and somehow that show popped up, and it's our jam.
That's us, man. It fits right in perfectly like a key into a lock. Prisoner dating game. That is patreon.com/CrimeInSports. Sign up now, and also you'll get a shout out at the end of the show where your name will be butchered horribly. So not on purpose, though. Quick disclaimer, this is a comedy show. We're comedians. Story's completely real. We're not making up anything for comedic value, although sometimes it sounds like we are. We promise we're not. Swear to God, sometimes things are crazy, and we have to make fun of them. That's it. Yes. There's nothing funny about actual murder. There's nothing funny about a dismemberment or none of that's funny. That's why we don't usually make any jokes around that, because it's not really funny. There's funny things around all of that, of a murderer saying, I think this is a good idea. I can get away with this.
No, you can't.
Rather than any other option. So things like that are hilarious. But what we don't do, we go out of our way not to make fun of the victims or the victims' families.
Why, James?
Because we're assholes.
But
we're not scumbags. And that's how that works. So that sounds good to you? I think it's going to be a crazy time if you think true crime and comedy should never, ever, ever, ever go together. I don't know. Maybe we don't belong together, but maybe we do. We should talk this over some appetizers at Chili's, and we'll decide. Either way, let's get into it. Let's clear the lungs, Jimmie.
All right.
And shout it out. Let's shout, shut up and give me murder. Let's do this. Let's go on a trip, shall we?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. We are going all the way to Massachusetts.
Yeah.
It has been a long time since we've been in Massachusetts. We've taken our big break from Massachusetts for some reason here. We're going to North Adams, Massachusetts.
Okay, where the hell
which is northwestern, up in the upper northwestern
over
corner.
There.
Yeah, it's in the Berkshires. There's dispensaries there in Pittsfield. I've been in this area before. Anywhere where there's like weed dispensaries, I've frequented. I'm familiar. Let's just say that.
I think I've only been in that area with you.
I think so, too, for that purpose. We were more south, though. We were closer to me. This is like almost 2 hours. This is like 2 hours from me.
I've been to Vermont, but I went the other way to get there.
Yeah, from New Hampshire. Yeah,
right.
This is 2 hours and 45 minutes from Boston. It's about 2 hours and 40 minutes to Needham, Massachusetts, which was our last Massachusetts episode, episode 198.
What?
This is
right?
This is 271. So that's a long time ago. That was a young Ted Bundy on the rise. Was that one? And this guy really trying to. That was a crazy episode.
When was that? What year?
It was
19, right?
It was 20. 73 weeks ago. So
something in 20.
There you go. A year and a half ago. Almost exactly a year and a half ago. This is in Berkshire County. It is area code 413. And there's not really a motto here, but they have 2 nicknames.
Oh.
Which is Slab City.
Yuck.
which you can so easily call Slob City that it's not worth the sign. Someone could really emphasize the outside, and then you're Slob City, or the Tunnel City, which sounds like you're a city in a tunnel, or people are tunneling under you to get around you.
It's where you go to get that butthole sex.
Or, it's going to be, this place is filthy. One of the two. History
which would
of this
lend
town.
to Slob City.
And then you turn into Slob City after that, because everybody's, it's just too much decadence. That's the thing.
Much.
Everyone's it turns into Rome at that point. You're just too satisfied with yourself.
Overfloweth.
And it turns into Sloth City, and it's bad stuff. So history of this town, this was settled, European-wise here and everything, 1745.
Wow.
So it's an old town during King George's War, which is, I know you're a veteran.
You had one.
I know you're a veteran of that war, Jimmy. You
got me a bronze star in that war.
It was very heroic, I got to say. Still talked about in this area to this day. During the war, Canadian and Native American forces led a siege to Fort Massachusetts. Now, the fort's chimney there's a stone replica constructed in the 20th century, and it is located at the rear of the former Price Chopper supermarket. So their big, look what we have is in the back of an abandoned supermarket.
Of the Price Chopper.
Which is, quote, behind the former Friendlies. So this place is bleak as shit. This is a defunct strip mall with a Price Chopper supermarket that's the anchor store that's gone out of business, where they have a chimney, and then a Friendlies, which has probably died 15 years ago. This is sad. Very, very sad.
The tourism, you have to go weed through the
you have to go urban exploring.
Yeah.
You have to break in with your, one of these douches on YouTube walking around.
Bring
I actually
a crowbar
like those
to get through the boarded up Price Chopper.
So you can go, there it is. That's history, kids.
That's a chimney. It's a replica, you guys.
Ignore the squatter shitting in the corner. Ignore him. Kids, ignore him. We all boundaries.
Replica, James.
We'll look at the chimney that they made in 1930.
About something that happened 200 years before.
Let's do that. That is unfucking real.
Oh, Christ. There's a better thing to say is there's nothing to do.
Not a lot going on here. So eventually they had wholesale shoe manufacturers in the 1800s were here. They had a brickyard, a sawmill, cabinet makers, hat manufacturers.
Okay.
A lot of hats going on. This area, too, when you drive through it, like these towns on the way to these places with weed, you see a lot of these old dead brick industrial buildings where it's this used to be like an industrial town. It's almost like it's like driving through tiny Detroit. When some of these towns. There used to be a lot of shit being made. Now there's nothing in these places at all.
Wow.
Machine shops for the construction of mill machines. So they had machines that made machines.
Unbelievable.
That's wild here. They had marble works, wagon and sleigh makers, and iron works, which provided the pig iron for the armor plates for the Monitor, the Civil War battleship.
Is that right?
I don't know if anybody's a real big Civil War buff, but they had, the Monitor. There was the Confederates put their own ship in the water, and it dominated everything on the river for a whole day,
years,
and then for a day, and then the Monitor came up, and they had this big battle, and the Monitor ended up winning, and then it ended up being retired. It was thing was an iron box with smoke coming out of it, and guys trying to breathe. It was terrible, but for back then,
it wins.
It had a turret on top for the guns, rather than having 20 guns everywhere. This was the first time somebody had the idea of put one on top that rotates.
Yeah, and metal plate it.
And it worked a lot.
And you can't win. Yeah.
And it was a much better idea. So anyway, not that anybody gives a shit, but there's that. There's your Sahara Desert fart fact of the week, everybody. So from the post-war here to the 1980s, post-World War II to the 80s, they had Sprague here, which produced electrical components for the electronics stuff and TVs and VCRs and shit. But competition abroad led to 1985. They closed operations, and they said this closure basically ruined the whole local
Thanks
economy.
a lot, China.
This was it. Yeah, this was
cheap electronics.
This was Korea, where they make a lot of electronics there.
Fucking Taiwan.
Other countries make them whatever. So anyway, this fucked everything up, essentially, and population declined a lot since the 80s.
Sure.
One famous person from here, and that is Frank Vincent, who is... You know him as Billy Bats in Goodfellas. He's the guy in the trunk that Joe Pesci stabs. He's in Raging Bull, where he's in fucking Casino, where they kill Joe Pesci. He's in The Sopranos. He's he's in everything. From what I understand, because I've known actors that have worked with him, huge asshole, gigantic. Gaping, fucking pulsating asshole. Like
saying he deserved being in that trunk.
Like absolutely one of the biggest assholes in show business. He's known as like a complete
for a guy that's
jerk.
Completely typecast and is never getting anything other than Italian gangster role. Maybe you should settle down, sir.
But all of his roles, that's like kind of him. That's the thing. Like he's just kind of a dick. Yeah, he's being a dick. You're like, yeah, that's Frank Vincent. Just kind of a dick.
Get your shine box.
So, yeah, go get your shine box. They didn't come and tell you I don't shine shoes no more. All right, 5 stars. Let's not do that whole scene because I'll fucking do it. You disrespected him a little bit. Okay, that's enough. Rossi, you're nothing but a whore. Superintendent. Okay, I'm not going to do it.
I just watched that the other night.
I know. It's in my brain, man. I can play it backwards.
It might be my favorite movie now. Tombstone it defined me for a long. I love that movie. It's beautiful,
fun, but for
majestically
cinema,
put together.
It's better. Yeah,
Goodfellas is incredible.
It's a fine movie.
It's incredible.
So reviews here, we have 5 stars. This is perfect. It's the only one that was like a perfect score. I have been back and forth visiting a second home for nearly the last 8+ years.
Oh, you bragging blowhard motherfucker.
Right away, that's your 5-star rating now. Doesn't mean a lot. Like, I love it because it's where my second home is and my weekend
I love it because I love everything. I have a shitload of money.
Yeah. In the last 3, we saw such positive changes engaging current and longtime residents along with new people, activities, and programming. Sure, Mass Mocha, which is like a museum there, gets much credit, and rightly so, and so does MCLA, the people of the community, and those innovative, positive people shepherding the newest chapter. My kids have enjoyed coming along and now take their friends to visit, hike, eat, and listen to music and share art. Thank you, North Adams. These are pretentious people. They're like,
these
look, the trees are beautiful.
Motherfuckers.
It's so good. So good to get out of Williamsburg.
Bastards. Yeah,
that's what it is. It's so good to get out of Williamsburg for the day.
Look at the leaves changing. Isn't it beautiful?
I was so tired of seeing 6-foot-tall Romanian models everywhere. This is much. So 3 stars, great town growing up, but over the years, crime rates have gone up. This is a small town in western Massachusetts where everyone really does know everyone, and know is spelled N-O-W. So that tells you.
Now everyone.
Now everyone. Everyone really does now everyone. People are very nosy here, and word spreads around fast. Oh, so it's a nightmare. Okay. Makes sense. 2 stars. There are a lot of criminals coming into the area with drugs, and a lot of people are overdosing onto them.
Uh-oh.
Okay, but they're coming into the area with, I think people are, no one goes to a market unless there's a demand. That's the thing.
Right.
You know, we do live shows. We don't go places where people don't listen to us.
Good point. Yeah.
I don't go to Portugal a lot because they wouldn't understand us, and we wouldn't fly. We probably wouldn't sell many tickets, whereas we go to, Detroit, and we're fucking sold out. So there you go. They come by. 1 star here. Mm-hmm. It has really gone downhill in the last decade. While it may look cultured with mass mocha and techs with mini parks that are free to charge your technology, the reality is there's not really much to do. The drug trade and crime rate has been slowly rising, and the police do as little as possible. It was a great little town in the early 2000s, but not anymore. Mm-hmm. I am hoping to sell and move somewhere warmer and safer. Okay. All right, so
Mass Mocha sounds like a coffee shop.
It's delicious. Oh, they have the best.
Like Massachusetts coffee.
Their espresso, I'm telling you, it puts a bounce in your step.
Show me a latte.
Show me your lattes. People of this town, 12,737, which is down sharply since the 80s there. It's the median age is 43.1, so it's a little bit higher than normal. Sure. It's lower marriage rate than normal, higher single people with children than normal. 23%. So race of this town, 90% white.
Is that right?
So pretty. It's northwestern Massachusetts. If you've ever been to northwestern Massachusetts, it's one thing. It's white. It's very, very white.
Yeah.
It's exceedingly white. It's like Utah out there, except they're Irish instead of Mormon. The only
they're
difference.
They're loud Utahns.
Yeah, they're Utahns with booze. They're what you get if you mixed a Mormon and someone from Wisconsin together. You'd get somebody. You'd get like an Irish guy from northwestern Mass. So there's 1.6% black, 0.6% Asian, 3.7% Hispanic. So it's pretty white. It's northwestern Massachusetts. What do you want? Sure. Religion in this town, it's just about normal, 50-50. And obviously, you're going to have the dominant force here be 38% of the people here are Catholic. As we know, Catholics are the Baptists of the North. They're everywhere. 2.7% or 2.1% Jewish.
What?
Oh, hey, I don't know the words. Hey, that's been a while. We've been down south. It's been a while down south and out west and shit. So in Berkshire County, the last election here, it's a small county too here, so not a whole lot of people here, but whatever, for what it's worth. In Berkshire County, it's 72% voted Democrat last election, 25% Republican, 2.3% independent.
Okay.
So they probably voted for like an alien or something, because this is one of those places where half the people here claim to be like, abducted at some point or some shit. It's one of those weird towns. Unemployment rate is like 9% here, which is 3 times the national average. That's bonkers.
9%?
9%, which is super high. It's all these just shuttered brick buildings. It's all that's there. They have negative recent job growth.
What?
Yeah, not going well here. Median household income, $38,774, which is...
That doesn't sound like Massachusetts at all.
That's Western Massachusetts. It's a different ball game out there, man. It's about 20,000 less than the national average. 46% of the people here make 30,000 or less.
What the
per year. So yeah, this is tough. Cost of living here is 82 out of 100 being regular. Housing though 57.5, pretty low, especially for Massachusetts. Median home cost $177,800.
That's incredible.
Very low, but it's there's nothing here. That's the problem. Right. So what are you going to do? Well, you know what? If you're going to move here, we have for you, everybody, the North Adams, Massachusetts Real Estate Report. The average 2-bedroom rental here goes for about $1,124 a month, which is pretty close to the average.
It seems steep, though.
It's for, if the houses are cheap. Your average, or this house here, I found 5-bedroom, 2-bath, okay, 2,623 square feet.
That's a house.
So, yeah, you got a few kids. That's a place to go. Built in 1875.
Awesome.
Filthy. Looks like it hasn't been cleaned since 1877. Looks like they gave up about 1877.
Okay.
They were like, somewhere in the Grant administration, they just abandoned ship. I don't know what happened
2,600 square feet of filth.
Yeah, it's tons of junk. It looks like everybody's left all of their shit there and stored it there since 1875, and no one's thrown anything away. It's like a potential hoarder situation if we let it go any longer. That's $119,000 though for that.
Unbelievable.
So, that's all cleanable and workable. You could do it. The structure looks good.
Might take your chances. Yeah.
That's what I mean. Here's one 7-bedroom, 4-bath.
What?
3,225 square foot.
Oh my God.
Big house built in 1900.
Awesome.
Falling apart. Falling apart. Looks like it's falling apart.
122 years of you got to fix it.
Things are sliding away. It's not. It looks. Outside looks worse. The inside looks together. It's not great, but it's like livable. Whereas the outside looks like, should I stand here or is this going to fall? A little bit, but it's $179,000.
What the?
So that you can turn that into a grand estate. You know what I mean?
Oh my God! If you've got $300-400 you can really make that place a magical kingdom.
It's not too bad here. And then here's one 6-bedroom, 3-bath, 4,742 square feet.
Wow!
Built in 1900. It's pretty goddamn nice. It's an old Victorian house, big fancy staircase, and a big-ass yard. It's fucking nice. $450,000 for that.
Oh, my God.
Which is still expensive, but compared to like that's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,200 square foot house in a neighborhood where you hear gunshots in Phoenix right now,
and you hear your neighbor next door fucking. So
and then there are gunshots from them too.
Yeah. And the house isn't touching yours. You still hear them fuck.
You still hear it. Yeah,
not the moans. You hear it go in.
Well, it's just particle board to particle board. I mean, it's not
you hear the slapping and
you hear it all. It's not good. Things to do here. Oh, Jesus. There's a few, and they're all pretty bad. Let's see. The Eagle Street Beach Party.
Okay.
We don't need an ocean to have a beach. Well, yeah, you do. Or at least a lake, something. You got to have something.
That's not how that works.
Not what they do. They bring in more than 250,000 pounds of sand and spread it on the entire length of Eagle Street, curb to curb.
Awesome.
And then it's a family-friendly beach party. Listen to this. The family-friendly beach party runs from 3:30 to 6:30. And the adult-oriented fiesta, that sounds like people are going to be fucking in the street. I get it. It's just booze, complete with margaritas served on the beach. I get it. It's booze, but the adult-oriented fiesta.
That tells me dicks are out.
That tells me that people are going to have sand in their vaginas afterwards because someone's going to be...
You're going to see tits tonight, for sure.
The Winterfest, which is that has a chowder cook-off.
Okay.
Ice sculpting and a chowder competition. So there's that. So you can we can sit around roasted marshmallows at a campfire. Yeah. Oh boy, that sounds like fun. And then finally, North Adams Motorama. Acres of everything motorized.
Yes.
There you go.
Show me a bar stool.
Motorama was created to give all lovers of motorized vehicles, from classic cars, tuner cars, fire trucks, race cars, snowmobiles, go-karts, etc., a place to come together and show off their own goods.
I want this.
That sounds like an interesting place to go walk around. And then they have a fall foliage festival, which is
very popular.
It's literally a walk where trees are, and you look at them, which everyone in town lives there and sees these trees on a daily basis. So there's not...
It's fascinating, man. People live in the woods out there, and they still leave there to go see other woods.
This is their woods. It's the people who live there walking around their own town that they live in.
You got trees. I see it.
That's wild,
Saw them when I flew in. It's fine.
You know what that tells me? There's nothing to do in this town. Nothing.
Wandering around looking at bark.
That's it. Oh, there's the tree. Yeah, I know it's in my yard and I see it every day, but it's pretty, right?
What are we doing? Festival about it.
Oh, my God. Crime rate in this town, what we're interested in, obviously, is it's a problem, man. For a small town like this, it's an issue. I'm looking at it like, wow.
10% of people have no jobs.
That'll cause a problem. Property crime is it's like 20-25% high. It's high.
No.
It's high, but more concerning than that, because, I mean, a lot of times in a small town, you'll have property crime. It's just drug shit, too. And, because drugs
lose your iPod, lose a camera, whatever.
Yeah. Well, I mean, drug crimes are also put into that clump. They're not put into violent crimes, murder, rape, robbery, and assault, the Mount Rushmore of crimes. When that's very specific. That's more than twice the national average.
Oh my! It's really a problem.
That's like almost 2.5 times. It's crazy.
Murder, rape, robbery, assault.
That's a lot. And armed robbery and anything that goes under those umbrellas. Yeah. That's a lot.
You are twice as likely for that to happen to you here.
More than twice as likely to happen than you are on the average American street, whatever that is. So that's crazy shit. So
Wild.
That said, unsurprisingly, we're going to talk about a murder that happened here.
Yeah.
It sounds, at this point, it's not surprising.
This is the place.
This is the place. But when it happened, this actually was surprising, because we have to go back to 1979 to talk about
This started a trend, huh?
In 79, this place was doing very well. The plant was open.
Yeah.
People were working. The Friendlies was open. The Price Chopper was cranking. People were staring.
Fucking replica fireplace.
Yeah. People were staring at the chimney on Sunday mornings. They're like, I got to go grocery shop, and I'm going to look at the chimney for a while. I'll be back. And then they take off. So
sorry I'm late, baby. I know it's noon now and breakfast is no longer an option, but I had to see the chimney in aisle 13.
I know I should have got the frozen stuff after I stared at the chimney and now it's all melted and I came home with a frozen pizza that's liquid. I get it, but it doesn't matter. The chimney is majestic. It's mesmerizing. It's fucking mesmerizing. I'm staring at the thing, and I'm like, look at this thing. It's a chimney.
It's like the tree in Times Square. I got to look.
It's just like the one they had 300 years ago. It's just like the one they had back then, but it's not because they just built it. But it's still, it looks like it, and it's at the Price Chopper, so, you know.
It's at 30 Rock, isn't it? I don't know where the fucking tree is.
I stopped. Yeah, it is. Yeah, Rockefeller Center.
There you go.
I stopped at Friendly's for a cone afterwards, too. I'm sorry. They were shutting down. I had to get one before they stopped.
It's a swirl.
So we go to 79, and we need to talk about, in 1979, we'll start with, a guy named George Albert Schnapps.
Yeah.
Schnapps.
Is it that guy?
Schnopps.
Oh, it's not that guy.
Not that guy, but his name is Schnapps, which is pretty goddamn funny.
One letter off of being filthy fucking rich is what he is.
Not quite. I think this is just, I think he's just a German guy. That's all at this point. Close to rich, instead just pretty German, I think.
Just a German guy.
Just a German guy named George. Just George the German. That's all. Speaking of Germany, we'll talk about it. He's been to Germany.
Has he?
Wasn't born there. He's actually born in the U.S., born on February 21st, 1922.
Yeah.
So, he's 57 years old in 1979. He is his parents, Jacob and Clara Schnapps, which they probably didn't get nearly as much guff for their name back in 1910. He grew up in North Adams, went to high school in North Adams. He's one of 6 kids, 5 boys and 1 girl.
Yeah.
He's one of the younger brothers, by the way. And I found some shenanigans that he and his brothers got into here in the newspaper from 1938.
Oh.
Here we go. May 27th, 1938. All right.
This is written.
His brother had to plead guilty here, apparently. State Trooper Oliver B. Nichols of Shelbourne Falls Barracks said the 2 men had gone to the Olacine factory last night and filled 6 burlap bags with about 150 pounds of copper and brass fittings taken from the factory yard before they were discovered by the night superintendent. The latter called the state police, but when Trooper Nichols arrived, Schaefer and a younger brother of Schnapps had vanished. The elder brother of Elder Schnapps, was found in the vicinity and brought to North Adams, where he was arrested. So that's George, by the way, the younger brother.
Yeah.
He was with his older brothers stealing fucking fittings from the factory.
Capers. Yeah.
That's very methy for 1938. Now, 1938 is still the Depression, though. That's the other thing. So, times were tough, maybe. We don't know what was going on. He joined up, and he was in World War II, as a matter of fact.
No kidding.
Absolutely. He's a World War II vet. He served with the 3701 first. I don't know how the fuck you'd say that.
3,701st?
First, yeah, I guess you'd have to say it out. Base unit of the Air Force. So he's in World War II. Good for him. Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about the safest sponsor ever, Simply Safe. Absolutely, these people will keep you safe. It's amazing. You know that every 26 seconds a burglary takes place in the United States, according to the FBI. That means that by the time this podcast is over, dozens and dozens of homes will have been targeted, ransacked, God knows what happens here. So protect your home before it's too late with Simply Safe proactive security system. Simply Safe helps stop threats before they even have a chance to break in. Named Best Home Security System by U.S. News and World Report 5 years in a row. And by us for about the last 8 years as well. If you trust us, believe me, you want Simply Safe. So visit simplysafe.com/small to claim 50% off a new system with professional monitoring plan and your first month free. That's simplysafe.com/small. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Now back to the show.
This show, Small Town Murder, is brought to you by BetterHelp. Get yourself some therapy, everybody. Honestly, here. We often hear about, red flags that you should avoid. Hey, that's a lot of a thing. It's become a real phrase now, real cliche. Yeah. But why don't you focus also, you look at like green flags in friends and partners. Look for good things as well. Right. And maybe you're not sure what that looks like, though. Therapy can help you figure that out. What are positive things? What are the green flags? And then you can practice them in your relationship. It's absolutely a fact. And so, honestly, we absolutely are huge advocates for this. It really, really helps. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable. It's convenient. They serve over 5 million people worldwide. You can access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists, wide ranges of specialties there. Here's the coolest part. You're not getting along with your therapist, you're just not feeling it, you can switch at any time, no extra charge.
Wow.
The thing is, they want you to get help. That's it. And you can do it with BetterHelp. Discover your relationship green flags with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/smalltownmurder today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
He gets married during the war here. He marries a woman named Claire in August of 1943. Unfortunately, though, she dies on June 23rd, 1965.
Oh, no.
Yeah, she died of MS, actually. She had multiple sclerosis.
Damn it.
Back then, there was not a lot of treatments for it. It's still rough now.
Today, there's not a lot. Yeah, it's brutal.
It's rough. It's bad. But back then, it was like, oh, shit, you're just fucked. Like, there wasn't really a whole lot they could do for it. So after World War II, George was employed by the United Taxi Service for more than 20 years. So he worked there from 1945 to like 1965 when his wife died.
Oh, God.
When his wife died, he had to kind of change his whole thing up. It was to change his life. I don't know we'll find out. George has a very emotional side to him, to put it lightly. Emotional would be.
You think the wife did it?
The wife, what?
No, I mean the tragedy of it.
Oh, it's on this show. That's got to be something bad. Did what? She killed who? I'm like, no one's died yet. What are you talking about?
I really was created the emotions in him.
Yeah, I think no. I don't know. Possibly, but it definitely exacerbated whatever's going on with him because. We'll find out later. He's very emotional, but when his wife dies, and this is understandable. I mean, they've been married since he was 21, and they have a daughter together as well, named Jill. So they're it's sad anyway. So he stops driving a cab after that, and everybody said he cared for her throughout her life while she was sick. Yeah. He was a nice guy and a good caretaker and all that kind of shit. And it was a very good relationship, everybody said, too. Very kind, loving relationship. Yeah. And she died naturally, which is rare. We very rarely have like a natural birth of a nice person on this show. Usually if it's a nice person, we're like, oh, no, they're going to end up with like a meat cleaver right in their forehead. You know it. You know this person's going to be in 8 pieces in garbage bags by the time we get to an hour 40. You just know it's happening.
I'm glad he didn't hurt the wife and took care of her very well. That's beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, he did a lot here. So in 1965, now think about it too. In 1965, he is 43 years old.
Yep.
His wife died. He's got a daughter, and he's trying to navigate the world basically. Yeah. And he gets a new job. Him and his wife, he gets a new job here where he meets another woman. He meets a woman named Marilyn Harris, who is 20.
Oh.
So, wife died. Now you're 43 and you meet a 20-year-old. So, I don't know if he's trying to feel better about himself or rewind the clock to before the other marriage so now he can start over again. I don't know what the psychology is in that. I really don't.
Or maybe it's on her and that she courted him because there are young girls that fucking love a silver fox.
Absolutely. No, that's true. I don't know if he's a silver fox at 43. That's a little... Might be a little.
You don't know.
The bottom end of Silver Fox, I think, at that age. I think you got to be.
You may have grade early.
You got to hit 50 before you can be a Silver Fox.
Is that
right?
true? I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. I think
at 20, anybody over 36 is fucking 50.
That's true. That's true. Anybody over 30 is 50 at that point. When you're 20,
20 years old.
God,
fuck,
30.
Jesus, you're all right. You gonna die tomorrow? Fuck.
Jesus, I'd ask you if you wanted to shoot some hoops, but your hip probably hurts. I would assume by now.
And if not, it will tomorrow. And I don't want to put you through that. That's. I think that's elder abuse. I think I can go to jail for that.
Probably is. I assume it is. It probably is. What are you, 33? Yeah, that's.
I can't do that.
Can't hurt somebody your age. I'm sorry. Can't do that to you.
I should probably hold your hand and walk you across the street. Jesus.
Let me get those groceries for you. Here, hand those over. Come on, let's go.
That's how they look at you.
Hey, back off. There's a sweet old lady coming through. Back off. Jesus
She's
Christ.
33. Give her some time.
Give her some space. Quit being a dick. She's taking a selfie and has a fucking cup of Starbucks in her hand that was $7. Please be very, very careful. Give her a wide berth.
At 41, when they offer for the people that need a little more time to get on the plane, I kind of want to go up.
You're like, I'd like some more time if I'm being honest here.
Are you okay, sir? I'm 41. Does that count?
You walk up and go, hi. I was half paying attention. Did you say need or want? Which did you say?
Is there a card for those people? Because I don't have one, but I really feel like I should probably be with them.
If it's just want, I got to be honest with you. I think I'm going to go ahead and get in that line. Just saying. Behind the guy in the wheelchair. Okay.
I feel like I qualify.
Behind the guy with the oxygen. Okay. I'll be back. So,
see you in a sec.
Behind the poor woman with 4 small children hanging off of her that she's trying to keep in one behind her. Okay.
As she drags us 2 car seats that you put in bags for her.
Whenever I see that, I always think, is there one that you just go, if that one wanders away, I'm not going to worry about it. If they return him, they return him. If not, he might end up on a flight to wherever. But I did my best. We're going to have a reverse Kevin McAllister situation here.
Where they just don't care.
The kid goes somewhere else. The parents are still where they are.
Imagine that Home Alone where she goes, Kevin! And they're like, yeah, we don't have him. She's like, I'll be all right.
He'll be all right. I think he took the 8 o'clock to Vancouver. I don't think it's a big deal. He'll be back.
They'll get him to us. It's okay.
The airlines are... Yeah, they're not going to want to keep him. He'd be a shit flight attendant. He's terrible. He doesn't even clean his room.
That's the Home Alone I want.
That's the Home Alone I'd like to. Him wandering around a strange city. Yeah. Those parents don't care at all. No concern.
And they show up back at home and he's there and they're just like, hey, what's up?
Yeah, what's going on? What's
How
up,
you
bro?
doing? You made it, huh? We did too.
Hey, good for you. So... he's 43, he meets a 20-year-old Marilyn Harris, who is a phone dispatcher at the General Cable Company plant in Pownal, P-O-W-N-A-L, Pownal, I don't know, Vermont. Either way, it's across the border in Vermont, where they both, and that's where he works too. So, so they get to know each other for about, 3 months, and then they get married.
What?
Yeah, they get married. By the end of 1965, they're married.
Yeah.
And his wife died on June 23rd, 1965. So that is pretty fucking interesting.
Insanely quick.
I'd like to know exactly what date he started because I don't mean to, you know how I am. I don't really love a conspiracy theory, but if he got a job here first at the cable company, meets a 20-year-old, and then his sickly wife, who's his age, dies of her disease in 1965, where, didn't have the greatest testing and everything in the world.
Maybe we exhume that and check her out.
Maybe let's see if there's some, and if she was very sick, too, and she passed away, they go, oh, she's been sick for so long, that's it. They're not even going to do an autopsy. She died of MS. She's had it for years, and she's been sick and all that. He could have been poisoning it. We don't know what the hell's going on.
Instead, we look at it like, good for him. He's healing.
Yeah, look at that. Or they're like, well, who could say anything bad about what he's doing? He's whatever you can do to try to get through that. You know what I mean? And he meets this. Maybe that's comforting to him.
And she's an angel to take care of him like this.
An angel. He's got a daughter.
Yeah. Oh, is that right?
He's got
How
a daughter.
Old is she? 20?
Yeah. No, she's older, so that's fine. Actually, that's totally fine.
She's the age of his fucking wife, or older than his wife.
No, I think she's a little bit younger. Okay. She's a little bit younger. They didn't have her right away because he was in the war and all that. So I think they didn't have her till later on when he came back and everything. So, yeah, they get married, and so she becomes Marilyn Schnapps.
Yeah.
And there you go. So they stay married. By 1979, they've been married 14 years.
Yep.
And she's 34, and he's now 57.
Wow.
Now you're in Silver Fox territory where it's 57. And 57 and 34 are very, very different. That's a big age gap.
But at that point, nobody gives a shit anymore.
No, not for society. I mean for interpersonal.
Right. Under the roof, it's not happy.
it's just, that's a big age difference.
Yeah.
It really is. That's 23 years. That's a lot.
She's in her prime, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, and people who make it work, and people are fine and happy that can do that. That's great. But to me, it seems like a big age. Like with both of our significant others, it's 10 years, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, 10 years for both of us that are younger than us, which makes sense because we're extremely immature men. So we're very immature, obviously. We're children. Listen to us. We make dick jokes about murder for 2.5 hours a week. We're extremely immature. Oh, by the way, it's now going to be about 3.5 hours a week because tomorrow on Friday, we have a new thing coming out, which is an hour long or 45 minutes to an hour long, shorter small town murder, not the stories we do longer in a shorter version. New story. These are stories that are they're insane, but there's not enough backstory or whatever to flesh out a whole episode about it.
To do a Thursday show about it.
To do a Thursday show, but they're so insane that it's like, oh my God, how do we not tell people about this? So
I want you to know.
This is how we can do it. The one we're starting out with this week the last week, I'm sorry, because it would be, this is a second week of it. What's wrong with my brain?
What's happening? Are you all right?
So it's insane. It's just nuts. Check it out. I am, and I'm not okay, Jimmy.
Don't just trust us.
Trust us. Listen on Fridays.
Things are insane. This world is never gonna go back to normal.
It's so messed up, man. These Friday shows. You're gonna love it. So, my brain is not right. I'm ready to get a job at the General Cable Company and marry a 20-year-old at this point because I don't know what's going on with me today. So by 1979, they're 14 years they've been married. They have 3 children of their own by this point. Yes, they do. They have Jane, who's 14, Alan, who's 12, and Tracy, who's 4. Okay. So, they have, imagine being 57 and having a 4-year-old.
4-year-old? No, absolutely not.
Exhausting.
41. I'm already looking for a vasectomy. I'm doing it. It's over. I'm not having any more children ever.
And you're looking at your 10-year-old daughter going, you about ready for college or what? What are we doing? Looking at your watch. You ready to go? Are you a prodigy or what? Let's Doogie Howser this situation and get you a medical practice so I can move to Maine.
The homes in North Adams are so affordable. Grow up, kid.
Grow up. You lazy bastards. You shiftless bastards.
I'm going to be going to the doctor every 3 months and tugging into a cup to make sure. Recount them. Make sure this thing worked.
I'm trying to get to absolute 0. Is that possible? Can I get there?
I don't want even one swimming in there.
So that's
just be liquid. That's it.
Well, he had all of these kids after your age now. Think about that. They started at 43 having kids. So 43, 45, 51 is when his kid thing went. So, for her, it was obviously 21, 23, and 31 or whatever. Easy. So,
no problem.
Easy. So, Marilyn, she's also from North Adams, lifelong. So, they're both North Adams lifers. I'm sure he might have went to school with her parents or something because he's the same age that her parents would be. She went to Drury High School. Good for her. Okay. She's a member of the St. John's Episcopal Church.
Wow.
And even teaches Sunday school there.
Get out.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's also a different time. We hear now 43 and 20, and we're like, oh, that 20-year-old's going to want to party and go out and do a lot of shit for Instagram. They're going to want to do that stuff. And this guy's going to be getting tired soon. Back Back then, the society was a little different. Like, people at 20 were like, oh, yeah, I want to start having kids pretty soon. This is crazy. I got to get I'm an old maid. Like, that was still that mindset if you were in a small town, which is super weird. It's hard to get into that mindset. So they both, like I said, now they're working at the Cornish Wire Division plant for the same company.
I don't even know what that does.
Cornish,
for the company?
Yeah, Cornish Wire Division. Wow. I don't know what the hell that is. Cornish?
Game hens and wire, huh?
Game hens and wires and guys in mines on Deadwood. That's all I know of Cornish. That's it. I haven't heard anything else on Cornish at all. I said there's some corn in it, maybe. It's Cornish. Cornish. I mean,
Is there corn in it?
Ish, we'll say. Maybe. So he works. The problem is, like, by the 70s, they're on different shifts.
Yeah.
Which is difficult for a marriage here. His shift is 7 a.m. to 3 p.m., the first shift, the day shift. She works second shift, 3 to 11.
Oh.
So they
for a while, and she's still running that shift?
They high-five each other while they at the time clock there. They punch in and high-five each other and then cross paths, and that's that. She gets home past 11. He's asleep. Yeah. He's got to be up at 6 o'clock in the morning to do that shit. So
that's how you make that work. Mm-hmm. That's fantastic.
I guess that's you never see each other ever.
Right. And when you do, you make a baby.
I left her like a note on her desk. It's fine. It's pretty romantic.
We're going to try for another one tonight.
I stuck a Post-it on her adding machine. I feel like that's going to really get her wet for later. It's going to be good.
Drew a dick on it.
Yeah, hey, that's all it is. It's just a picture of my dick. You know what I mean? But like a cartoon dick with hearts coming out of it instead of cum.
That's a 79 dick pic.
You don't want like jizz coming out of it. That's pretty gross. It's so you put some hearts coming out. It looks it's the chicks like it. They like to see hearts fly out of your cock. That's how it works. So they're doing that. So this is hard for the family too because she's working second shift. Mm-hmm. So he's kind of in charge of the house as far as the kids, and he gets them home from school and makes dinner and puts them to bed and does all that stuff just because of the shift situation. What are you going to do? So everything's going very well, though. Everybody says they're a nice couple. They have their kids. They go to church together. She teaches Sunday school. They do social things, hang out with friends. Yeah. They're not like the couple that everybody's going, oh, Jesus, they're coming. Christ, they're going to fight again. Oh, my God. I'm going to have to leave early because I don't want to hear it.
They get along, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, they're not the couple like at the party that's the only two people out in the yard yelling at each other while everybody else is inside. That's not them. So
told you not to talk about that.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So he says everything was fine. And then Easter of 1979 comes around.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about Easter, if it's an argument over Peeps or what, it's very controversial. Peeps. Some people love them.
So, yeah.
Some people love them. Some people hate them. Peeps.
Yeah.
So, you never know. Maybe it's a marshmallow.
I could take them or leave them.
Yeah, I don't like so much granulated sugar, but I like the marshmallow.
It's a lot of sand.
Like the sugar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that on the outside of anything.
It's
crunchy
a lot.
Sugar.
Yeah.
That's too much. It's marshmallow. It's pretty sweet.
There's plenty of sugar in this.
It's all marshmallow is sugar. That's what it is. It's just like it's goopified sugar that you just put in your mouth and go, That's why when you roast them, they turn black like that. Right. That's the sugar caramelizing. It's just sugar.
Right.
Yeah, it's sugar.
It's flammable.
So, totally flammable. Even the outside, the powder, that's sugar too.
Yeah.
It's just powdered sugar. They rolled it in so it wouldn't be sticky when you picked it up. So anyway, they have a apparently terrible argument about Peeps, and marriage starts to be a little weird.
Pink, yellow, no pink.
No, pink, blue. I like that weird blue color that doesn't exist in nature. So what happens is right before Easter, they go out to a club to dance together.
Okay.
So he's 57. He's going out to the club to dance. He's really trying to keep that wife happy. You can tell.
Yeah, he is.
She likes to go to the club, and I'll go with her. It's fine. So they go. He says that she wouldn't dance with him the entire evening, and instead spent the entire evening dancing with a coworker of hers, another guy. Some guy. They went to the Mountain View restaurant in North Adams where it was like dance night on a Saturday night, the Saturday night before Easter.
Yeah, dropped a sawbuck to get him to play Johnny Be Good. I know how it works.
big hunt at the end of the night.
Yeah.
Big hunt with a free beer ticket inside of it. It's magical. So they danced the whole night. She danced the whole night with a guy named Donald LaBombard.
LaBombard.
Labombard. LaBombard. I'm going to call him.
Lombard.
Lombard?
Isn't it?
There's another B in there, though.
Oh, Lombard?
Lombard, yeah. If it was Lombard, that'd be fantastic. It's Lombard. Yeah, it's Lombard. La Bamba Bard.
That's too much.
It's almost La Bamba. If there was an A instead of an O, it would be La Bamba Bard. La Bombard. So, but it's La Bamba. Okay, whatever. Anyway, they work. He works on the same shift as her at the plant. Not, so George doesn't really know this guy pretty well. Someone close to it says that, quote, he had a reputation as a lover.
Oh.
So he was kind of a...
He's a swinging cock around the yard.
And he's got, I know this doesn't mean an entire lot, but it definitely says something about somebody's personality and their swagger a little bit. Because I found a newspaper article about him when he was in the 8th grade from Donald Lombard from May 11th, 1951, where his school was putting on this big talent show. And there's going to be some specialty numbers, including a duet ballet with some people here, and then a solo song. He's going to sing a solo, "A Kiss in the Dark" by Donald Lombard. So he's got the balls to go up and sing a solo. So I think he's okay with romancing the ladies.
He's got confidence.
Yeah, he's going to, croon at them and shit. Make them
bang married women.
In front of their husbands, apparently, which you don't think that would be uncomfortable for you. Like if you were a single guy and you went out and there was some chick dancing all over you and her husband was standing there the whole night not looking happy, wouldn't you be like, isn't this weird? Why is
sitting at the fucking bar swilling an old fashioned while I'm rubbing on her ass? No, I don't want that.
I hope Donald was at least buying him a few drinks here and there. Like, hey, send my man a fucking old-fashioned over there, would you?
Unless it's square dancing, and I don't want any shit to do with that anyway.
Yeah, no one's touching. That's fine. There's no grinding. So I found that, and I also found a case in the paper where someone got in trouble for selling him liquor when he was 17. He got, busted on the way home from a store, and he told on the guy or whatever, and someone got in trouble for it.
LaBombard's a fucking party.
LaBombard's a good time here. So she dances with Donnie LaBombard all night long, which who wouldn't? When they get home, George and Marilyn have an argument over it, obviously. I assume on the way home as well in the car. That car ride was not comfortable.
Oh, it was uncomfortable.
There was some shit going on. So during the argument, over the course of it, when they're, at home arguing, she tells him that she doesn't love him anymore and she wants a divorce. Okay. So not only was there nothing going on, you don't like it? Well, good. I want a divorce anyway and I don't love you. So it's like, whoa, that's not what he expected.
You loved me 4 years ago. We had a kid, for fuck's sake.
What the hell is that about? So, that was him probably like, oh, yeah, okay, let's do that. I'll keep her happy. But I don't think... So I mean, everybody can say it looks all great, but there's cracks in the foundation before it crumbles. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't just crumble. Everyone goes, "Wow, it was strong yesterday." There was cracks. There's stress fractures in there that nobody knew about. So George becomes very upset. Okay, obviously, emotional, unpredictable, and very just freaking out. So much so that he goes to the closet and takes a shotgun out.
Oh, George.
Oh, yeah. He gets out a shotgun, cocks the shotgun, and continues the argument holding a shotgun. Which is I got to say, if you're going to have an argument with someone, the guy holding the shotgun usually wins. How much less disagreeable are you to a person holding a shotgun?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it's abusive, but it's also, in life, if you were to go on the street and try to haggle with somebody over with a shotgun, you're much more formidable.
It's
opponent.
It's the stick, the talking stick. You get to, I'm the one holding this, so I'm the one that has the floor. I'm the winner of this.
Yeah. How much? Yeah, you're holding. How much you want for it? 10 grand. I'm sorry. What was I couldn't hear you there.
3's good.
9,500. I guess. I don't know.
How many does this hold? You're right. $5,000 it is.
$5,000. But this is obviously very abusive. He's trying to scare her into staying with a shotgun. I mean, no one should ever take a shotgun out in the middle of an argument for any reason, obviously. Right. Even if, bad things happen when shotguns are out in the house when you're having an argument. He denies, though, he said he didn't use it. He just had the argument with the shotgun and said he never intended to use it. It just made him feel better to have it, which is disturbing.
It's like a pimp cane.
Imagine you can't fight with your wife unless you have high-powered weaponry in your hand.
As I'm holding a powder weapon.
I need this. Don't worry, it's just birdshot in there, but you're still gonna know.
This 9mm on my hip makes me feel more confidence to talk to you.
I just feel better. It's like a blankie, except it's deadly. My deadly blankie. That's what I call it.
Microphone. It's easier to tell jokes holding it.
It's so much easier. That's what you should try. Well, you know what? Maybe they should from now on. That's what we should be doing. That's it. Yeah. Heavily armed comedians. That would be the new thing.
Maybe that would have stopped Will Smith.
You'd end up saying a punchline. If you didn't get the laugh you want, you just put your face forward a little bit. And they're like, yeah, no, that was
You're
great.
Right.
No, funny. You are right. That was good. That was terrific.
Clever.
Crowd control at a new level. So she says she doesn't love him and she wants a divorce, but she doesn't leave and he doesn't leave, and they stay together, and they're apparently they're in some kind of weird relationship limbo where I don't know what's going on. They're still he thinks they're trying to work it out, but she's saying that she doesn't want to work it out, but she's also, as we'll find out, not actually seeing this other man that she's interested in. That's the other thing.
Well,
she's not going out and seeing him. She's still working, coming home, doing her normal thing. So it's just but she wants this guy, but she doesn't want her husband. It's very, very strange. But what ends up happening is the argument frequency escalates very quickly between George and Marilyn.
Something underlying that needs to be worked out. They could use therapy.
Well, here's what needs to be worked out. She doesn't want to be married to him anymore. Mm-hmm. And he wants to be married to her still. So there's, you know what I mean? We're at an impasse at that point, and that's that. I don't know what else we could do. It's not that she's mad at him because she can't trust him because he did. She doesn't love him and wants to fuck other people. That's a completely different problem. But that's for sure. She definitely does want other men. She does. She's talking to this other guy, but not hooking up with him at all. That's the weird. And we know that because I'll tell you in a minute why we know that. So they're arguing all the time, and he keeps accusing her of seeing somebody else. I know you're seeing somebody, but she says, I'm not fucking seeing anybody. She's adamant about it. I'm not seeing anybody. So it's very, very strange here, and that's what most of the arguments would be about, that you're seeing somebody. I know you're seeing somebody. If she went to the store, he's like, did you really go to the store? Did you see somebody?
Oh, my God.
She thinks he's having a relationship with a particular man, Donald Lombard. He thinks she is, I'm sorry. Yeah, having an affair with this particular man, and would just call him that bum. You want to go see that bum, don't you? That bum. He's a bum. That crooning bum. So you're going to go see that bum.
57-year-old thing to say.
Yeah, he's a bum, I tell you. In 1979.
Yeah, you're just going to take half of everything and give it to that young stud.
You're going to give it to that bum, aren't you? He's 42, by the way, Donald, at this point.
Lombard is 42?
Lombard is 42.
Oh,
Lombard is not exactly, he's not she found some 27-year-old guy that's going to use her. This isn't.
She likes older men, just not that much older.
Yeah, she likes guys in their early 40s, it seems like. From both guys she's picked, early 40s.
She's trading them in for what she loved.
That's what she's into. And, 34 and 42, you're close in age. You got the same references. Yeah. You've seen the same movies. It's all, that sort of shit. So it's understandable. So on a few occasions during these arguments, he would threaten her. George would threaten Marilyn with physical harm never do anything, but always would threaten her with different weapons. I don't know if he's picking to see which one would scare her. I don't understand. Into doing what he wanted. If it's like, Grand Theft Auto, he's like cycling through his weapons inventory.
Back to this.
What about that? It's crazy. With scissors, he's threatened her to stab her. And if stab her, what does the daughter say? We'll get to it. Quote, my father asked my mother if she would like the scissors right between the eyes, is what their 14-year-old daughter Jane says. Which is a little much.
Saying that in front of the kids.
To where they could hear it. Yeah. Do you want these scissors between the eyes? That is... Things have gotten well out of hand if people are threatening with scissors between the eyes.
Yeah, it's over.
We need a TO, and someone needs to go stay in a one-bedroom apartment for a while. Period.
Until they get their act together and can move on, because that's what needs to happen. They don't need to be together anymore.
I see an air mattress in someone's future, is what I see. If everything could work out.
A shitload of beefaroni. Somebody's eating it.
I see Dinty Moore, is what I see. I see cans and cans of it. Oh, it's very
Does
sad.
anybody in your family have beefaroni?
Is there any kind of beefaroni there?
Do Hot Pockets mean anything to you?
Chef Boyardee also makes a fine beef ravioli. Do you know of that? You get all your protein and your carbs at once. I suggest it for the sad, lonely single man.
Out of season tamales. Are you familiar?
Have you ever eaten beans from a can? Let me ask you that, because it's something. Pork and beans especially. You don't heat them up at all. You just dive right in there. Oh, yeah.
Patio furniture indoors. Familiar? Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Anybody told you?
That good? No furniture, just a TV? Something like that? Yeah. Okay.
Milk crate nightstands. Is any of this ringing a bell?
Your mattress, hold on, is directly on the floor. See? I'm psychic. I know it. I can tell. You got out of the futon, but you still haven't upped yourself to a bed frame yet.
Touching a Serta, and you feel good about it.
Oh, I see. You said finally a real mattress, and you've been walking with your chin held high,
and you're smiling about it. It feels accurate. I don't know.
I don't know, man. Looking good. Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about a healthy, delicious item, Hero Bread. And we're both trying to get healthier this new year. Jimmie had a eye-opening doctor's appointment and things like that. Yeah. So we're trying to get healthier, and I'm telling you right now, this Hero Bread is a good step in this direction. It's delicious, and it is really good for you, and it's really excellent. They have the sliced bread is good, the bagels, the tortillas. I know you've been
they're terrific.
Ranting about the tortillas. They're so good. With Hero Bread, you can focus on your health goals and still indulge in the soft, fluffy experience you love, but guilt-free. I really love the little Hawaiian rolls, too.
Yeah.
They're so good. They're so good. The Hawaiian rolls, they're legit. They're fluffy. Yeah. They're exactly how you want them to be. You'd never know it's low-carb and high-fiber bread from the texture. You get the soft, fluffy experience you know and love with your savory breakfast sandwich, late-night grilled cheese, Taco Tuesday. Do it. Yeah. No compromises, just flavor, ultra-low net carbs, 0 grams of sugar, high in fiber. It's fantastic. Hero Bread is offering 10% off your order. Go to hero.co and use the code SmallTownMurder at checkout. That's SmallTownMurder at HERO.co.
And now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you all sorts of good stuff about Chime. That's what I'm talking about. There's so many extra fees you have to pay in life. Everything. You go to the airline, there's an extra ticket on that. There's extra fee on every fees, hotels, fees, all this type of stuff. We're trying to make progress, and the next thing you know, here comes another fee coming at you, and it's more money than you expected, and your whole math is thrown off, and it's awful. Learn more at chime.com/smalltownmurder. Chime is great with that stuff. I mean, you can't beat if your things are a little tight, especially around the holidays or after the holidays. Yeah. You need that money a couple days early, or you go grocery shopping. You got a car payment due. There's so many things that don't cross over exactly how you want them to cross over. Make progress toward a better financial future with Chime. Open your account in 2 minutes at chime.com/smalltownmurder. That's chime.com/smalltownmurder. Feels like progress. Banking services and debit cards provided by Bancorp Bank N.A. or Stride Bank N.A., members FDIC. SpotMe eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. Boosts are available to eligible Chime members enrolled in SpotMe and are subject to monthly limits. Timing depends on submission of payment file. Fees apply at out-of-network ATMs.
And now back to the show.
So, the scissors aren't the only thing he threatened her with. He threatened her with a knife another time, which is worse than scissors, arguably. Another time, not just the one argument, a different argument, he whipped the shotgun out again.
God damn it.
And then the other time he had a fake plastic gun. he threatened her with a plastic toy gun because he doesn't have a pistol. So he has a toy pistol, and he was like, "What do you think of that?" And she's like, "Is that fucking our 4-year-old's toy? What is that? Does that shoot those orange discs out? What is that gun?"
Those are great.
Those are fun, man. They were a pain in the ass to load, though. Those little tiny discs in, and then you just and it's done.
Fuck! I gotta do it again.
Do it again. Shit.
I like the foam darts. Those are much easier.
Oh, those are plop. There you go. But you have to do them one at a time. Is the only difference. You can't just go like you're emptying a.
Unless you get the foam balls that go in the big one, and then it's battery operated.
Yeah. Those are great.
Mow them down, and then you got to pick that shit up.
Those are all at least like bright orange and yellow now.
Yeah,
when we were kids, the goal was to make child toy guns as realistic looking as possible. Remember, like EnterTech?
Yeah,
those were just like
fucking orange shit off the tip.
You take it off the tip, hand it to your kid, and go, "Here you go. Go get shot by a police officer. Enjoy." Because it's like
walk down.
They looked real as fuck.
They sure did.
Kids used to get shot by cops all the time because they're pointing real looking guns at them. And you look at it and you go, "Well, yeah, Jesus Christ." I would have shot the kid too. Yeah, it's like Blazing Saddles. He shot me right in the ass. So anyway, they also here he says that he threatened her. Yes, he threatened her with physical harm, but he said he never actually intended to hurt her. He just wanted to scare her into ending the relationship that she was having an affair with the guy.
I wanted to frighten her into a happy marriage with me.
That's not how you do it.
No.
If you've gotten to the point of I don't love you and I want a divorce and I like somebody else, you're fucked then. It's over. You gotta she's not saying I want you to be different. She's saying I want you to be another human being in your place with you in a different place. That's a way different conversation.
I want you to be somebody else and you to live somewhere else.
Absolutely.
And he's courting her with the reasons that she wants a divorce. That's insane.
That's what I'm saying. It's like he's he's compressing it all to where it's like it's like the Big Bang's going to happen here.
Yeah.
He keeps mushing the snowball down even further, putting more pressure in there,
the same
more energy.
Behavior, that she hates.
Because he's boxing her in too.
Yeah.
It's like rather than trying to show his worth, he's taking the opposite approach.
Yeah.
Doing it. This isn't how you court, is what we're getting at.
Not at all.
Children, kids, this is not how you court.
But sometimes the obvious has to be said.
So you never know. People say crazy shit, and we got to balance it out. We got to say the obvious sometimes. So their kid here, Jane, she said she heard the arguments all the time, beginning about Easter, which is right when when this guy came into the picture. Mm-hmm. Here, she said she heard her father accuse her mother of seeing another man. She told of hearing her father threaten her mother with a pair of scissors, and other times just threaten to kill her verbally. I have scissors, right? You don't have to whip them out every time. If you'd like the scissors right between the eyes and all this type of shit. She also said that he would just make various, quote, threats of mutilation to the mother, which I don't know what that means.
Take your toe off.
Yeah, like little, I'm going to, carve you up and do things like that. Like crazy shit that you don't say to anybody. That's insane. She said before Easter, they seemed to have a good relationship. As far as she didn't hear them arguing anyway. Like we said, we don't know if they were happy, but to a kid, if there's no fighting, everything's great.
Right.
You must be happy. That's how we think of it. Now, he says he's got a different take on this whole thing. Now, everything from her alleged affair to his behavior, he thinks it can be answered with another explanation.
Oh?
He says later on, quote, I thought the house was possessed by the devil.
Yeah.
So that's hard to get around when you got demons and such around your house. Demons and such is a good name for this episode, by the way. When there's demons and such afoot, it's difficult to really work on your marriage, obviously. So
the narcissism involved with that. It couldn't possibly be me.
No.
It has to be this wood and copper piping.
I can't be fucked up in the head. The devil's after me and my marriage. That's a lot.
Holy shit.
He said that, and he also said, this is amazing because it sounds like he's trying to downplay it a little bit. This is why I sort of believe him because of the way he says it. Quote, I may have even thought I heard the devil talking to me.
Oh, boy.
That means the devil talked to me all the time. I listened and answered back.
We had a conversation.
I may have even thought I heard. So that's two, softeners in there, which means no. I just take those out and I say, I heard the devil. I heard the devil talking to me, and that's perfect. Take the other ones out.
This is dangerous.
This is bad. His house is possessed by the devil, and his wife is possessed by a demon cock, apparently. It's got a lot of problems here. So his daughter from the previous marriage there, Jill, she's 22 at this point. So that means she was born in 1957. So that poor kid was she was 8 when her mom died.
That's so fucked, man.
Oh,
so fucked.
That's
and then
so
dad's
sad.
Dating somebody 12 years older than her.
Yeah. That's sad. Also back then though,
Yeah.
think about this. Back then, like a 43-year-old guy might not even know how to do anything with it. He might be like, I need to get a woman in the house to be a mother because I got to get a replacement mother. In the 60s, that's how people would
She's about to get her period, and I don't know what the fuck to do.
I don't have any goddamn idea. I gave her like a handful of loose leaf paper. I don't think that's going to help her. So
once a month, I make her go sit in that chimney down at Friendly's.
that's it. She goes up on top.
He's just sitting there for a little while.
She's got to say, bombs away, sweetheart. Tell him, let him know.
Let him know it's coming.
People are going to be gathered around, so you want to let them know to clear out.
That's going to draw a crowd. Once a month, the chimney bleeds for a week.
It's crazy.
Just drips down the walls.
There's priests there blessing it. It's like Always Sunny when they had the stain on the wall. They turn it into a
shit.
Oh God! So
it's immaculate.
It's immaculate. Now, in addition to his thinking the house is possessed and may have thought he heard the devil talking to me, I may have thought the devil. I'm not sure though. It could have been. This could have been the TV, but I swear to God, it said "kill your family, burn the house down." Be my slave. I thought that's what I heard, but it might have just been Kojak. I'm not sure. It's had the TV on. So the daughter from previous marriage said that George started telling her that he had been receiving threatening phone calls.
Oh God.
From Donald Lombard.
Right.
Okay. And we don't know if this is true or not, but that's what he's telling her. This could be figments of his imagination. He might think that's the devil, and it's just Donald Lombard. The devil calls me on the phone and says he wants to fuck my wife. It's crazy. He's got to be talking to me. I hear him. I answer the phone. Hello.
Yellow. Hey, I'm fingering your wife to some songs right now.
By the way, I did some recon. The devil's name is Donald, just in case if you want to call him by name
Which
next time you're renouncing him.
D, it's alliteration. Devil Donald.
It works.
Donald
it works.
the devil.
Donald the devil. You bastard. Lombard. So
his last name's so fun.
Yeah, it's very fun. I want to say it all the time. Lombard. I want to say it in different accents. Yeah. Lombard. I want to get it. I want to really shout it from the rooftops. Lombard. Sounds like something you'd be calling from a ship.
Yeah.
Like in another, all aboard in another language is Lambabard. Lambabard. And people are hurrying across, fucking waving.
That's what the cruise ship screams when you're out there at duty free.
That's what it is, yeah. Lambabard. So if you're in, I don't know, some other country.
Spain.
Anyway, in Spain, it's Lambabard in Spanish. Oh, it's Lambabard time. So, yeah, they said that she said that he thinks he's been receiving threatening phone calls from either Donald Lambabard or the devil, as previously mentioned.
Either way,
we're not sure.
One of the two. We can't. Who can call it?
Who knows? She said she talked to her dad about the incident before Easter, about the dancing and all of this shit in person here. Yeah. She said she had talked to her dad. Then she talked to also to Marilyn at the home. She was like trying to be. She was trying to be. Yeah. I think she's trying to be a go-between. I think she's trying to mediate the whole. Yeah, she's trying to fix it. And she said while she was talking to Marilyn in the bedroom, she said, through the door came her dad with a shotgun.
Oh, God.
And she was like, oh, my. She said that that Jill, the daughter, said that she got up and was, George let her take the shotgun from him. Uh-huh. But, I mean, he went into a room with his daughter and wife with a shotgun, which is...
Jesus Christ.
That's a wild thought right there. She said, he had shells too in his other hand, but it wasn't loaded yet. Like he was loading it. He was about to load it. And she was like, give me that. Man? Yeah, left him sitting with shells in his hand. So she said that she told Marilyn to go. She lived across the street, Jill. So she said, come with me across the street, and, hang out, let him cool off. And she took the shotgun with her. So at some point, some neighbor was looking out the window and saw two ladies crossing the street with a shotgun, which is pretty funny. I don't know why.
We're here to cool off.
We're here to, we're cooling off, everybody. It's fine. I'm taking her to the chimney. Don't worry about it. So, September of 1979, George starts to be suspicious of something. And he's not a stupid guy, George. That's the other thing here. He starts suspecting that whoever she's talking to on the phone is using a signal when telephoning. Like back in the day, people would do like, I don't answer my phone, so if it's you, ring twice and hang up. You know what I mean? Let it ring twice and hang up. That sort of shit. And then I'll call you back, So he said, what's that about? And it was it was one ring, hang up, and call back. That was how it would work. And then they'd call back, and she would know that it was her boyfriend calling. This is what he said. So he did it. He rang once. George did this himself from work. He's like, let me see. She's home right now. Rang, hang up, called back, and she answered the phone, quote, hi, lover.
Oh, no.
Yeah, not good.
He nailed it.
He figured out the code, which is, he's not an idiot. She hung up. So he was like, what? You fucking, blah, blah, blah. She hung up immediately when she...
I fought Hitler.
Yeah, I fought Hitler. Click. So...
Oh, no.
Hi, lover. I fought Hitler. Click.
Shit. Wrong lover.
Damn it. So she hung up immediately, and then she didn't come home from work that night. Yeah. She stayed out, okay? So later on, she tells George by telephone that, the reason why I haven't been home is because I moved into my mother's house, and I have the kids with me, too. So we're moving out. Enjoy.
It's over.
Essentially, yeah. She said that she's not going to return to the house. That's it. I moved in with my mother, Margaret. We're going to Mag's house over here. It's over with. So at 723 Massachusetts Avenue is her address. So he said that from then on, he was telling people she was freezing him out. Freezing him out. And she left you.
Yeah.
She's not freezing you out. Yeah. You don't have a relationship anymore and would not talk to him. Well, they have to figure out some sort of children thing going. Right. I mean, obviously. So they got to talk, but...
Don't worry. There will be. There'll be chat.
She should do it through lawyers because he brings shotguns to conversations.
Right. Yeah, those conversations are difficult to have.
They're a lot more difficult. So he ended up speaking with a lawyer about a divorce at one point, and he was told that he had a good chance of getting custody of the children due to his wife's desertion and adultery. if you can prove all of that. But that's ridiculous, because like adultery doesn't mean that you're not a good parent. It just means that you didn't want to fuck that person anymore. That's a way those are separate issues, you know what I mean?
I think they've changed that today, that doesn't matter.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But back then it probably mattered, because the religion and shit like that played a part in it.
It should matter for alimony.
Yeah.
You know, somebody shouldn't have to pay somebody just because that person wanted to fuck somebody else. Like, hey, that's sorry. You can have money or whatever genitals you're going after there, one or the two, but you can't have both. You know, that's not right. So that would be the only thing. But desertion is one thing. Either way, though, that's not being abusive to the children, not being a bad mother. That's just shit toward him, which
desertion. You can
kids.
Validate that behavior by gun fucking play. You can't. Gun play is that's not desertion anymore. That's flight for my life.
That's fleeing in fear of your life. Right. That's exactly what that desertion is. To protect your children.
Right.
Because there's somebody who whips out all sorts of different creative weapons and threatens me with them. He said that he told his lawyer, quote, "She just cut me off." This is in September. He said that they hadn't had sex in over 2 months out of September. He's lucky he got any ass in July, honestly, because I thought she was done with him in April. I'm surprised, if I'm being honest, right? Am I crazy here?
Good for him for realizing that is the signal, because I stuck around much longer. Stuck around much longer with no ass in the house, and then thankfully that went away.
Well, for him, he's you know what though, he's very perceptive. He's very open to phone ring signals, you know, like the devil talking to him. He's got his ears open, is what I'm getting at.
He picks up codes real quick.
He's very aware of his surroundings. He's like a deer. Anything happens, he just turns his head real quick.
Call that World War II veteranship, knowing how to speak in codes and interpret signals. Flashing lights and Morse code and maybe pussy.
Maybe he broke Nazi codes while getting no pussy, and having no pussy strengthens your brain. See, this is what happens here. There's an episode of Seinfeld where George's girlfriend has mono and they can't fuck for like a month. So with no sex, he ends up like becoming like a genius. Like it opens up. He's like, I was dedicating 90% of my brain power to trying to get sex. He goes, with that put out of my head, because it's not like he's trying, he's not getting laid. He knows he's getting laid in a month, so he's like, I just got to put that out of my head. So with that out of my head, my mind's open, and he's like, he's learning science, and he's like he knows calculus, and he learns like all these different languages. And then she's better and she fucks him, or he finds some other girl and bangs her or whatever. And then like he's like, you know, playing with like G.I. Joe figures in the next scene.
Back to being a dummy.
Exactly. And I think that's more true than we should really let on.
Probably. I genuinely, that's probably true, because I was doing very well with comedy while not fucking my wife.
Well, also, not fucking is good for comedy, because it's going to make you bitter and give you a little extra edge to your jokes. Yeah. We were both in the same boat there for a minute. for a few years there. So no sexual relations there. And so she's moved out. George begins to just deteriorate now. Deteriorate. He would just, out of nowhere, like sitting at dinner, he'd just openly start weeping out of nowhere.
Oh,
just
George.
Like, people are talking about, did you see they're putting, they're closing the Friendlies. That's such a shame. I know. I love their ice cream. It's great. Oh, God. And they're like, because the ice cream cones are good. Sorry, George. But
they're opening a Payless shoe store down the street. God damn it, she loves shoes.
Have you been to the chimney, George? Marilyn loved shoes. She had so many pairs.
But he should be going, I'm 57, she's in her 30s. Of course she left.
Yeah, of course she left.
You know what I mean? Count your lucky days that she was there for so long.
Yeah. Find some fucking... find a nice age-appropriate woman, or not, whatever. Just some woman who likes you and, you know, wants to have sex with you and, you know, whatever. Not only would he cry at home, he would start openly weeping at work.
Oh, my.
at work, he'd be just at the wire plant with the Cornish hens and everything, and he's just sitting there and just would start weeping to where the coworkers were like, should we, what the fuck? He didn't eat. He wouldn't eat. He wouldn't sleep well.
I know that. Yeah.
That's depression. Obviously, he was distracted, agitated. They said he was very not himself. But just the out of nowhere weeping was really
brutal,
weird.
Man.
Just few people working and doing their thing out of nowhere, and he's like, holy shit. Like hard weeping, they're saying, not just like a tears rolling down his cheek and he's trying to cover it. He was just like, oh God,
just letting it happen, letting
it fly. His weight went from 140 pounds to about 125 pounds.
Oh, he could not afford to lose any weight.
No, he's a little guy anyway. He's a little short little guy, but still, now you're even smaller. That's very, very small. And he began contemplating suicide openly to people. He'd start weeping. Maybe I should just kill myself. And he was just like, oh, my God, George, let's get a sandwich. Calm the fuck down.
Man.
Bro, there's nothing. And it's so sad because you can that obviously it's ripping him apart inside, which maybe you shouldn't have pulled out, weaponry on your wife, and this wouldn't have happened. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
If you brought home flowers instead of a shotgun during that argument, you might have. That's a start, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
You things might have worked out differently, is what I'm saying. You can't just whip out shotguns and expect people to fall into line with what you're wanting to do with their future. It's not going to do it. So this is self-inflicted, but still, it's a person suffering, and you're like, oh, that really sucks. He's contemplating suicide and everything. On 2 different occasions, he had to be driven home by supervisors at work because he was so emotionally
too distraught to drive. Oh,
to
my
work
God.
or drive.
Oh, dear God. The therapy that he needs right now.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
They sent him home early, but they didn't want to let him drive because he was such a fucking mess, and they were like, God, I'm responsible for that. If he goes and crashes into a fucking pole or something, that's my fault. So they drive him home.
Dear God.
There you go, George. Get yourself some McDonald's or something. Get some pizza delivered. Have a good one, George. And they drive away like, whoa. They get back to the office. Holy shit. Finally, he decided to go to a local hospital and ask for some help. Yeah. That's very good, George. Nice work. He goes to a local hospital, and they say that he's suffering from I love 1979 psychological diagnosis. No, a severe anxiety state. So it's just severe anxiety state, which I think it's a little more than that, maybe.
That's the broad stroke. That's definitely what it is.
Stroke. I think there's some definite depression
suffering
there.
Severe anxiety, but the depression is the main part.
and he's claiming that he's receiving threatening phone calls. He's saying weird shit. Threatening phone calls. The house may or may not be possessed by the devil. I think I may. I think I might hear devil noises, voices.
Anxiety's not what's doing that.
That's what I mean. He's got a lot of other problems, but they just say severe anxiety. Here's some Valium. Calm the fuck down. That's literally what they do. Wow. They give him some Valium and send him home.
Which the side effect to Valium is fucking suicidal tendencies.
Suicidal tendencies. Isn't like hallucinations and
there's a lot
auditory
that ties into If you use a lot of Valium, it's going to fuck you up.
You're going to hear the devil, right?
Yeah, you're going to want to lock doors.
Okay.
Stay alone with that.
That's what they send him home to his futon with a bottle of Valium. That's...
Head on home to your shotgun and futon. Yeah, fuck out of my office.
Here's some Valium.
This ought to help. Holy
Here's some
shit.
Valium. The Valium's almost like the flour in that cake mix. Like it's really necessary for a bad.
Brings it all together.
It's going to rise. Makes everything rise. That's the yeast.
Makes it rise and stick together.
Makes it stick together. There you go. Holy shit. And he's telling him about the paranoid thoughts of receiving phone calls and everything like that. Man. Co-workers of his are saying that, one is a woman named Hope Lucier. She says that he was a, quote, a really fun person to work with until April.
Yeah.
When
we started stocking Kleenex.
We were like, Jesus, what's wrong with George? They said that's when rumors started to persist around the General Cable Company plant about his wife having an affair. And that's which at work to be like that's the rumor that when you go home like your wife bangs around with this other guy. That sucks, man. That's shit. That's uncomfortable. I'm not even take the schnapses out of it. I'm only thinking of the other coworkers. When you're going to a fucking work at a cable plant, you're not. Right. You don't give a shit. You don't care about that. No. You're at work doing labor like this. Fuck, I don't need your drama too.
Right, I'm earning a living. I'm trying to earn a living, and while my thoughts are on other shit, and I got to have the thoughts of your shit too.
Although I do love gossip, so you know what, maybe.
And sometimes gossip makes your shit situation feel so much better.
Yeah, and it could pass time in the day. You and your coworker could talk for 3 hours about how you think this lady's banging somebody else, or this guy's crazy, or whatever the subject is. Yeah. That makes the day pass. You can do that. So she said she's known this guy for 10 years and worked with him in the same room for years and everything. And she said he was a great guy, but after that, quote, he just wasn't the same person. She said that out of nowhere, quote, he'd start talking and shaking all over.
Yeah.
He had this thing where he'd just start shaking. And
everybody loves gossip until you're the gossip.
Then it's not good. Yeah, it gets really bad. He was just a trembling wreck, people called him. The Hope Lucier said, quote, he was a trembling wreck. So there you go.
Yeah, exactly that.
Exactly that. She also says, this Hope woman, that a cafeteria telephone is where she believes that George where he believed that Donald would call her there. And it was visible from his work area, and he would stare at the phone like, he's calling my wife on that phone. And they said that, all he would talk about was that he thinks his wife is having an affair. And have you seen anything? And another guy here, Louis Lescarbot. Ooh, that's a good name. Lescarbot. He is the employee who's responsible for first aid at the General Cable plant. Okay. So he's the guy that at one point they were like, someone's got to be, hey, fucking pay it, stop working for 2 minutes. Pay attention. Somebody here has to be the first. We have to put it down on the sheet. It's the fucking law. There's OSHA now. Someone's got to be in charge of the first aid kit. Okay? Yeah. Who's it going to be?
Right.
Huh? All right. But Pete, it's you. I'm putting your name down. So that's it, Pete. So then when the time comes, Pete's like, oh, fuck, that's my responsibility now? Someone needs shit?
Somebody has something in their eye, Pete. Come here.
It was like 3 years ago I said I would do that. I don't remember that. Shit. That's literally how it works.
In case of a fire, who's the floor warden? Who is it? You got to wear a vest.
You can tell I've worked in warehouses before because that's exactly how that kind of shit works. It's exactly how it works.
It's always the same person has to do all the shit. It's the one that the boss trusts.
Yeah.
Because if it's me, they know I'm leaving.
They know I'm leaving. It's a heavy-set lady in her 50s that's going nowhere.
Every time.
Has worked there for 20 years.
And she wants to move up, but it's never happening.
Yeah, she doesn't even want to. That's the weird part. You go, would you like a promotion? She goes, I'm just happy as a clam. And you're like, what?
Can I stay here? I like this one.
What's wrong with you, lady? So, he gets called to the floor of the plant to deal with him. He's got like Band-Aids and some gauze in his hand, and George is just crying and shaking and weeping.
They want him to first aid his brain? That's not the guy. That's not the guy.
Thank you.
You don't call him.
You call the guy who's responsible for you cutting your finger while you're wrapping something.
This guy's got a bee sting swab. This isn't going to do it.
Yeah, he literally showed up with the white box with the fucking cross on it and was like, oh.
I got nothing in here.
Where'd you cut yourself, George? I can't. Oh, jeez.
That sounds like burn gel. Sounds like burn gel.
Let me go ahead and put this down right here. Is there Valium in this thing? Nope, just gauze. More gauze. I thought maybe there was Valium in the gauze.
Can we antiseptic his brain? I don't think so.
This isn't going well. So,
I can't put Neosporin in there.
Jesus Christ.
What the fuck?
So his daughter has gotten married in the last couple of years here. His daughter Jill got married, not the 14-year-old, the 20-something-year-old here. She got married. Her mother-in-law also talks about this. She says that she and her husband, so her mother and father-in-law, visited George on Saturday, October 7th, 1979. She said at that time George was shaking so badly all the time that he could barely light a cigarette.
Wow.
That's how, his ashtrays are overflowing in that fucking house. Imagine him just sitting there, chain anxiety smoking.
Boy.
Oh, man. And she also said, quote, he kept on repeating himself over and over. He was just like, and I do that again. And he just kept repeating himself, smoking, thinking the devil's talking to him. This is a crazy scene. So
he's a basket case.
Absolutely. He also told her that he, quote, couldn't hold nothing down. And he would either sit in the living room with the doors closed and all the curtains drawn, or he would go to bed. Those were his two things that he did. So depression.
Yeah.
October 10th comes around. He starts turning some of this depression outwardly. And that's a problem here. He talks to Marilyn.
Yeah.
And it's not reasonable. He threatened to, quote, make her suffer like she's never suffered before.
Oh, boy.
That's what he said. But he hadn't touched her yet. He hasn't physically harmed her. But he's began to just say, I'm just going to threaten your life now and make you suffer and all this shit. So that same day, on October 10th, that same day, he went to see his attorney, Richard Fitzpatrick, and he went with one of his neighbors. I don't know if his neighbor drove him because he's so shaky or what, but this is one of his neighbor's 17-year-old sons drove him to his divorce lawyer meeting and came in with him and shit. Like, he didn't even wait in the car.
I'm the driver.
He didn't even wait in the car with fucking Sultans of Swing on or something. Just I don't know, I got this Dire Straits 8-track. I'm going to pop that in and see what happens. He goes
Sat
in with
the
him.
corner, thumbing through a National Geographic.
Yeah. He's like, what is this, Golf Digest? Fuck, all right, fine. What does he do? Wouldn't you, if you were 17 and your neighbor who was 57 was like, come in with my divorce lawyer with me, I'd be like, I'll be in the car. Are you kidding me?
I don't need to be exposed to what that shit is yet. I'm too young for this.
I want no part of your intermarital bullshit. None. I'm done with it. So, he was seeking more general information on what his rights would be in the event of the divorce. Now, George, according to him and his neighbor David here, he told the lawyer that his goal was still to have a reconciliation with Marilyn.
Yeah, George thinks he thinks this is reparable still. It's not.
And several times during the interview, he broke down and cried and had to take a break, and then he'd come back, and then he'd keep talking again. And,
George.
Yeah, it's a lot. So October 12th, 1979 here. So that was the 10th. This is the 12th. She talks to her sister this morning and said that she talked to George. He threatened to make her suffer like she'd never suffered before. Yeah. You know how that goes. And also that he finally, though, after threatening her life, he relented and said that he's going to move out of the apartment so she could keep the apartment because that's where the kids have lived. Yeah. And it's easier for one person to relocate than four.
Okay.
And all that shit. So her sister said that she, said this has been going on since around Easter. She's been hearing from her sister and all this. And she said that day before, her sister told her, quote, I just don't love him anymore. I can't take any more from him. Okay. She's just done, man. That's it. So she said she asked her sister Marilyn is there another guy? Like, what's going on? Because they hadn't really gotten in depth about it. Right. And she said her sister denied any extramarital affair. She did say a little later, though, that, yes, she's in love with Donald Lombard. I'm in love with Donald Lombard.
It's too many syllables.
Too many syllables. Donnie Lamba B.
Yeah.
So I'm in love with her, but she said that she told her sister, but the thing is, I want to be with him, but we've never dated. We've never been together. We've only spoken to each other over the telephone.
Yeah.
They work the same shift, but not in the same area of the plant.
But she's calling him lover. So she's in love with the idea of being in love with him.
It's love after lockup, Jimmy.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's
right.
they call the phone. Hey, baby, how's it going? Oh, I'm all right. What's up? I'm just in jail, and I'm over here just trying to do whatever.
I'm on
and then
this side of the plant.
She's like, yeah, I'm getting my vibrator out, and we're gonna have like sexy time. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it is. She's having like a relationship like that because she says she has the kids and everything and can't really go, gallivanting around with somebody. So now George, that same day, she talks to her sister, has a reasonable conversation about her feelings and emotions. George, on the other hand, is at work that day, and he asks a coworker of his named James Hurley if he would buy him a gun.
Oh, no.
Would you buy me a gun? He tells the coworker, James, he says, I've been receiving these threatening telephone calls, and I'm just afraid someone's going to come over to my house and harm me. Yeah. And not to mention, he's like a 125, 130-pound guy. He's not the biggest guy. So he's like,
shrinking.
And shrinking, and by the day.
Yeah.
So he's so fucking emotional, though, after this, from talking about stuff, that the first aid guy, remember we talked about him, Mr. Lescarbot, he was called in again. He knows to leave the kit back by now, though. He doesn't even bring it anymore.
All I've got is a giant reflective blanket. Do you want to snuggle in it? Will that make you feel better? That's all I've got.
It's real crinkly, though. It's going to be annoying. But still,
it's loud.
It's loud, but we'll put you under a lamp and we'll do that.
There's earplugs in here, too. That might help. I don't know.
Huh? Anything?
Give it a
Do
shot.
You have any splinters? I have tweezers. I can... No? Shit.
They keep calling that poor bastard.
There's iodine in here for some reason. I don't even know what that does. Do you need that? Do you need iodine? So he's so shaken up, though, that by 8... Remember, his shift is 7 a.m. to 3. By 8:15 a.m., he's in such an emotional state that the first aid guy has to drive him home.
Hour into his shift. You shouldn't have even started working yet. You should still be getting coffee, taking a piss maybe, have some conversations.
He's already asked for a gun and had a mental breakdown by 8:15.
Sun's barely up.
Holy shit. This is just a lot. I mean... Like I said, the other people, they don't know about the shotguns and all these shit. Yeah. I think they're all like, they feel bad, but they're all getting to the point where they're like, okay, this is like disruptive now. Yeah. We got to like get him help or something, but he's got to not be in this situation if he's going to be just breaking down all the time. So both the first aid guy and George's boss both drove him home. A two-man job.
He's so fucked. We need one guy to hold him, the other to drive.
We need like like a partner situation, like they're transporting a prisoner. It's fucking insane.
Unbelievable.
So they drove him to his home, and that was that. So after 3 o'clock, when his coworker's shift ended, he and that coworker, they went to a place called, where is it? Bob's Gun Shop.
Oh, I really thought you were going to say this guy went back to work, waited for his shift to get off, came over and kept track of him, talked him through it.
Down.
Instead, took him to a fucking gun shop.
He said, "Sure, I'll get you that gun."
Hopefully, it's for you, and I don't got to drive you home anymore. Shit like that.
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So this James Hurley went in. He bought the guns.
Wow.
He bought a .22 pistol and also a starter pistol.
What is that?
I don't know why. Like a starter pistol, like a Pang for
like a fake gun? Yeah.
Like for a race. I don't know why he needed that, but he's got that and a .22 caliber pistol. Okay. So, and some bullets. Uh-huh. All this was $98.
Wow.
Good deal.
1979 was rad.
That's very cheap. So he gets a box of ammo, .22 pistol, and a starter pistol. So he said that he got the starter pistol to scare the caller if there was an attempt at a break-in, and then the .22 was for backup in case he actually needed to use a gun to protect his son, who his son had moved back in with him at this point, the youngest son, because she works from fucking 7 to 11, so someone has to watch him. Right. He's home, so or from 3 to 11 she works, so he's home. So. Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Sono Bello. You know, the most known secret with celebrities and influencers and all these famous people is so many of them have had lipo. They've had lipo, whether it's a little touch-up here or a total makeover.
Yeah.
Nobody has a perfect body. That's the thing.
No.
They may look like it on TV, but there's things that help that. Absolutely. Lipo now has changed, and Sono Bello's been at the forefront with using LAL technology and getting those beautiful and natural outcomes for each person. Looking real natural. Our friends at Sono Bello are offering their best deal. You're now included in their winter savings event, but appointments are limited, so please get on this. Sono Bello doctors are masters in micro laser fat removal, a brilliant technique that removes stubborn fat permanently wherever your problem areas are. Tummy, love handles, thighs, arms, it's gone in one comfortable visit. Eating healthy and workouts are great. Keep doing that, but if you want to lose that stubborn fat in one visit, check out Sono Bello. Save big during their winter savings event. Schedule your free consultation now at sonobello.com/smalltownmurder. That's sonobello.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about our stylish friends at Quince. That's right, let's go elevate your styles, people. Yeah. Get it going, look good out there, and you can do it now without breaking your wallet, without breaking the bank, because at Quince, you can get high-end, versatile pieces at prices we can all actually afford, which is very nice. You want to get good stuff that lasts and it's good, and they have quality stuff that's very affordable, and you can do like we did, upgrading our stuff here, while still being a very reasonable price. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. It's all quality stuff. You're going to love it. Trust us, it looks good. And I've got the leather jacket. It's a very high-quality item. Real nice, soft leather. Yeah. Jimmie's got his linen pants he's rocking.
Yeah, they're terrific.
Come on, be like us. Be fashionable. Get in there with Quince. Indulge in affordable luxury. Go to quince.com/smalltownmurder for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/smalltownmurder to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
It's a Luger 22 pistol here, semi-automatic, and a volcanic blank starter pistol. That's what he got here. And it was $98.87, and he came out, and George paid him the money for the guns, and then they went to to Roger's Roost to have some beers.
Okay.
He's emotionally unstable.
Yeah.
On medication. I'm going to arm him, and then let's lube him up with some liquor. I think that's going to make the situation better.
On Valium, and then pour booze on top of that. That's crazy.
So he thinks, well, I'll have a few beers with him and talk to him, and maybe that'll help him.
Men,
as well. Well, a couple of guys are going to sit down and talk it out here. So maybe he needs a shoulder. You know what I mean? Yeah. So he Hurley shows George how to load the gun and how, everything works on it. So, make sure he's an efficient guy with it.
Give him a tutorial.
So they have 3 beers each, is what they say here at Roger's Roost. And Hurley said that George tells him over these 3 beers. I'm sure there was a couple of tears shed in the middle of this too.
A couple of breakdowns in between.
A couple of breakdowns, especially into your beer. Said that my wife has been seeing Donald Lombard. You know him. He works at the place. Yeah. And, I know his name's fun to say, but he's an asshole. He's a dick, man. I don't like it. I need another beer. He said that also that George was telling this guy that he wasn't feeling well. He's having trouble with ulcers. Mm-hmm. Everything's falling apart. He also tells him that he goes, everything's falling apart. I got ulcers. I got this problem, that problem. And he shakes his head. He goes, I'll tell you, I'm mad enough to kill.
Oh, boy.
Okay, so at this point, finally, the coworker puts 2 and 2 together, this Hurley guy, and he said, are you going to get in any trouble with that gun, George? I didn't just...
My name's attached to that, George.
He shakes his head, George, and says, no way. A bullet's too good for her. I'd choke that bitch to death.
Okay, you could have stopped after a bullet's too good for her.
Bullet's too good for her. No. He's got a plan if he's going to kill her, and it ain't going to be that easy. So
choke that bitch to death.
I mean, when the devil's talking to you, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
The devil whispering in my ear.
How do you hold a straight face when a guy says something like that? Especially if there's like a pregnant pause, like a solid delivery of that line. If this guy's a comic, he could have crushed with that.
If he had good timing,
yeah,
he could have been the fucking man. That is good shit. So the day of October 13th, 1979, later on later on in the day, there's the children, Jane, Alan, and Tracy, are all out shopping with Jill, his grown daughter.
Yeah,
he takes some shopping and whatever. George ends up. I'm sorry. Marilyn would go all the time with her mother to the apartment every Saturday to get clothes for the week for her and the kids.
Yeah.
So she it was using that as a home base still, but because they're going to move back in. But you know how it works here. So there's a lot of moving around,
a lot of ins and outs.
So she left didn't take her mother that day. Marilyn. She leaves for the apartment about 2:30 p.m. Her mother says. So at this point, he talks to his neighbor, the one that came with him to the lawyer appointment. Yeah. So you'll tell that guy anything. George tells this neighbor that he's going to call his wife and have her come pick up some things, and that's what she does. He said he was thinking of letting his wife have the apartment, which the day before the wife had said that it's all been worked out now. This was the first time that this guy said that George had ever indicated that he was going to leave the apartment or even thinking about it. So he asked the neighbor to keep the youngest child with her if his wife brought the youngest child, so they could talk. You know, I want to talk to my wife. Do you mind if she brings the youngest? Can I bring her over to you?
Right.
Now she's already out with the daughter, so it doesn't matter. So he says, please come over and talk, and we'll talk about our marital difficulties and all of that shit. He said he wanted his children at home and that he wanted his family to remain intact. And they sat down at the dinette set, that's what it is, an apartment dinette set.
Yeah.
And that's what he did. He laid out his case. I want to stay, the kids, I want them to have a family. I want everything intact. I don't want you to ruin our lives, blah, blah, blah. He broke down crying several times over this conversation. He would cry for crying and crying and crying. Yeah. He would beg her to let the children live with him and to keep the please don't leave with the kids, blah, blah, blah. His wife here, Marilyn, replied, no, I'm going to court. You're going to give me all the furniture and you're going to get the hell out of here and you won't have anything. Okay. That's what she said. Because she's sick of this by now. Right. This is a lot, dude. It's months of threats and crying and then alternating crying and threats. So it's enough. Then, I guess, he said something that she couldn't understand. So then she stood up and pointed to her crotch and said, you will never touch this again because I've got something bigger and better for it.
Oh, no. You can't do that.
Yeah, that's what she said, which, I mean, you can, but I mean, if you have an emotionally unstable, potentially violent person in front of you, it might not be the best idea. It's just for...
He's already a beaten man. Yeah, he knows. He's well aware.
He gets it. That's why you're
the man's
gone.
Crying at work, Marilyn.
Yeah, that's
exactly what he believes.
But at the same time, he's also harassing her. Yeah. So it's like he's so hard to feel bad for because of that. But that's something where you're like, you're poking the bear there.
Sure.
So George at this point claims that his mind went blank. And he, quote, went berserk.
Oh, no.
He went to the cabinet and got out the new pistol that he bought.
She made a World War II veteran feel fucking emasculated.
Snap. No, mine went blank. So, that generation wasn't real.
I'm not a man? I'll show you.
I'm trying to think. That's like my grandfathers, and they were all...
Yeah.
I mean, both my grandfathers are like alcoholics who were, a little nuts, so
a little dangerous.
Not the greatest guys in the world, you know what I'm saying? Like as far as on the home front.
Yeah.
So he ends up. This is the pistol still in the box, by the way.
Brand
so while she's at the dinette set, he takes the pistol out of the box, drops the box on the floor, takes shells out, fucking loads the thing in the clip because it's a semi-auto.
Yeah.
pops the clip in, and shoots her. Shoots her twice. Bang, bang. She fell down. Then she shoots her twice in the chest, by the way. Pop, pop. He's probably a decent shot. He's a World War II vet. Then he'll say later on that she was still breathing and shivering, so he shot her again. He went and stood over her and shot her close range. Just executed. Boom, right down on her. Then he says, he'll say, but he skipped one thing, he then turns the gun on himself in his chest and fires a shot off as well. Tries to shoot himself in the chest, okay? The thing is, he doesn't die. The bullet ends up kind of shooting up his shoulder and coming out the back of his shoulder.
Spooked him.
So, he's very shaky, remember. So when he tells this later on, he does skip the part where, you know what? We'll get to it. Hold on here. So shortly before 3 p.m., he calls the neighbor, the woman he had asked, and her son that came to the, David, that came to the divorce lawyer appointment. He calls the neighbor, and the 17-year-old picks up. This poor 17-year-old's heard way too much. He said, "Hey, David, how's it going? Shot my wife and tried to kill myself as well. Over here, in case you're wondering." He said that that's what happened. He goes, "I did this because of what she had done to me." So that's what's going on. So David hangs up and calls the police, obviously, and they all go over there. David, he's 17 years old. He runs over and he call the police. He and his brother both go to the apartment there. His brother's 21. And they said that he said, "I killed my wife with the gun that I bought the previous day. I got this." He said, "I shot her twice and she was still shivering, so I shot her again."
Yeah.
He tells them that, and they're like, "Whoa, this is fucking crazy." He said that then later on he says about him, quote, "He wanted help. He said he tried to kill himself, but he was shaking so badly he missed."
Oh, boy.
So he was asking them, he was like, "Can you either call an ambulance or kill me, like one of the two? Either of that could
the
go
former.
down."
I'll do that.
So they're like, we'll just 911 it quick here and get the ambulance going here.
Pass this off to somebody else.
Yeah. He also said that this is a weird thing. The boys, when they're interviewed by police about this, the guys next door, they say, they bring up a weird thing from the 4th of July. There was a family party in the 4th of July that the neighbors were coming to and stuff, like a barbecue.
Right.
During this barbecue, he told the 17-year-old, "Every time I try to make love to her, she spits in my face." He's like, "Oh, are there more hot dogs?"
This one's a little more done than I wanted it. Can you do?
Yeah, are there buns for? Are we out of buns? Oh, okay, never mind. I don't need it off the plate.
This one's a little charred. You gotta.
I don't want to dip it in
rare.
mustard. Just less char. I don't want to taste just char.
I used a beer to wash down the other one, to push it down. Really, I chewed it, but it wouldn't move.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ! So it's stuck and lodged. It's lodged.
It's still there.
So police arrive here. Captain Richard Bush comes up. Dick Bush is his name.
Dick Bush. Fuck yeah.
My God. Jesus Christ. That's
like
amazing.
That guy. Captain?
Captain Penis Vagina comes over.
Captain Penis Hair. Here he is.
Oh, boy. He comes over. He arrived a couple minutes later. It's a small town.
Yeah.
And he said that George just said, "I just shot my wife." Yeah. Just like when he walked in, like, "How's it going?" Shot my wife, just to get you up to speed of everyone who comes through the door. So he is obviously going to be arrested, as we'll talk about. He's also got a bullet wound we have to worry about. But upon the police arrival, he asked the officer to check and see if his wife had died.
Yeah.
Do you see if she's dead?
Yeah.
So the officer went over and felt a pulse and said, "Yeah, she's gone." And he said, "Good."
Can you call my buddy from the office? I need first aid now.
Yeah. Can you call Tim Lesacarbe or whatever the fuck his name is? He's got the best Band-Aids in town. So the cops take him to the hospital for treatment. The cop that takes him has known him for 29 years.
Wow.
They're friends. It's a small town. They're friends. So the officer said, George said to the officer that he wouldn't hurt a fly. I wouldn't hurt a fly, even though there's 2 people with gunshot wounds in them because of him. So the officer advised him, don't talk to me. Don't say anything until you talk to a lawyer. Please stop talking. He goes, we read you your rights.
Don't make me go to court with this.
Yeah. He said, please stop talking. George's answer, quote, the devil made me do it.
Oh, God, George, don't say that.
So
I said no, George.
Fuck, George, you're making this so juicy. Please stop. So then the officer said 3 more times, he said, I'm going to tell you again, please stop. George, I'm serious. Don't say anymore. I'm telling you, you can't say anymore. So then he said, I love my wife and children. I do, but just between you and I, which, did you hear the Miranda warnings I just gave you? There is no between you and I once Miranda warnings are given.
George, you don't get it.
You just signed a release is what you did for your likeness and words. He said, just between you and I did it because she was cheating on me. And the devil, of course, obviously. But that the devil intervened, but that was the main crux of it, of why I was mad.
Oh, George, if they schedule your court dates on my day off, I have to be there, you son of a bitch.
Now, let me tell you the part he skipped that makes himself seem like I'm just a poor guy that snapped and shot off a couple gunshots and went, oh my God, what have I done? Pow, shot myself. Didn't exactly happen like that. The cause of death, 3 gunshot wounds, obviously, to the heart and lungs. So just perforated it all. The ballistic evidence indicated that the gun was fired within 2 to 4 feet of her. So very close. And it also indicated that 1 shot had been fired while she was on the floor, which is the one he shot into her, just like he said. There's 3 holes in the front of her parka that were found to have microscopic areas of gunpowder residue. That's close range. And a 4th on the back of the parka showed evidence of only lead residue. So that's one that
it came through. Yeah,
that's a through and through. All the shit got wiped off in her body. She said also a blue jersey belonging to George contained 2 holes in the shoulder, 1 in the front showing lead and powder, 1 in the back lead only. Through and through on that one too. And she also identified on the scene bloodstains on a beige jacket belonging to George, as well as bloodstains on a gauze wrapper. There's unidentified stains on a paper towel. There's all sorts of shit everywhere. Yeah. The thing is that he skipped over a lot. Not only does she have 3 gunshot wounds, there is a pair of, we can't really get a definitive, either wire cutters or scissors inside of her.
Oh, boy.
Jammed inside of her.
Stabbed
in her. Yeah,
oh,
no. Not in her chest, in her vagina, Jimmie.
Unbelievable.
So that there's.
So personal.
That's sticking out of her at the time.
God damn it.
He skipped all of that part and made it sound very heat of the moment-y, but that is very not heat of the moment.
No.
That is awful fucking
Took some
torture.
time to think about something horrible. Wow.
Yeah. I'm going to do this to her. There.
Yeah.
I'm going to take that. That's... So he gives a statement.
So horrible. He's leaving behind children that are going to know that. That is...
yeah.
What the fuck, man?
Disturbing. Did that to your mom. He gives a statement under questioning here. He said this is about 2 hours after this whole thing has happened. He's in a hospital room being fed intravenously.
Yeah.
While they take a statement. The officer said they did not inquire if he was being prepped for surgery or what the deal was, but they did read him his rights, they said. So he said when he spoke to his wife, I just told her I wanted to keep my family together. His wife said, I've got something bigger and better than this, pointed to her crotch. You'll never get this again. You're never going to touch me again. He said that the words, quote, cracked him. He said that everything went around in his head and that he, quote, saw stars.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my. He said he, quote, went toward the guns in the dining room. He asked his wife, why don't you try to fix this? Why don't you try to save our marriage? He told her, I have nothing more to live for. And she said, never, I'm never coming back to you. So she's trying to make it fucking clear.
Yeah, it's over.
It is over.
Yeah.
He said that she jumped up to leave, and that's when he shot her. He was seated at the time. He told her that she would never love anyone else. That's what he said. He shot her, and then he said, I want to go with you, and then shot himself after he had jammed fucking scissors or wire cutters inside of her. So that's this sympathetic story he's telling, which it's hard to have any sympathy when there's that extra bit in there at all. Any sympathy for anybody when they're going to that extreme. You know what I mean? And she didn't abuse him. She said, I don't want to be with you anymore, and left.
Right.
That's marriage.
It's done.
It happens. You can't kill someone over that.
50-something% of marriages end this way.
You got to pull it the fuck together and move on with your life. Get your goddamn fucking air mattress and live with it for a while. Cut the shit.
Pride it's a very large pill, but you got to wash it down. You got to do it. You got to take it. It's not easy.
It's not the end of the world. I mean, life goes on. So
you're going to smile real soon, and they're going to be the biggest, the best.
Yeah, you're going to feel great later.
Those smiles are so awesome.
I said it before, I'll say it again. Nothing is better than a good divorce. Nothing.
It's the best.
It really is the best.
It is tops.
When it's right, it's right.
Yeah.
If you need it. So
it's a spicy meatball.
It's a spicy meatball. So 2 days later, October 15th, he pleads innocent to a charge of murder. So he is entering a plea of not guilty, innocent to murder, obviously. He appears briefly in court. He's released to the hospital where he's still being treated for his gunshot wound, his self-inflicted gunshot wound. He's ordered held without bail because he's, deemed batshit by the court. Yeah.
He's certainly a danger.
I would say to at least himself, if not anybody else around.
At least Donald.
All right, I wouldn't want to be Donald if that guy's on the street. They said they found the .22 caliber gun there that he, had. He is found indigent, and the court was to assign him an attorney, but he said that he may choose to hire his own attorney. I don't know how, but that's what he's saying. So January 1980 is the trial. Timeline is important here. So jury is 12 men and 4 women. And what they do is they, all of them will hear the case, and then they do a drawing to see whose votes matter.
Oh, that's so much fun. A little sweepstakes.
So 16. Yeah. And so you go, my vote matters. All right. Only one of them is from North Adams. So they try to get people who are from around the county, but not the town, so they wouldn't know all these fucking people, because he's lived there for 57 years. So he moved, I think, when he was married to his first wife for a little while, but he's from there.
He went to the war, came back
and all that kind of shit. So they even list in the paper the jurors in here, which is fucking wild. Their names, what they do.
Hate that.
You got Walter Adamczak, a tool maker at General Electric. You got a retired guy. Helen's 49 and retired. That's living the life.
She's killing it.
Joseph Bordeaux is vice president of Berkshire County Industrial Supply Company. Oh my. This Timothy Briggs, a machine worker. This is a mix. We got a chief inspector for the Schweitzer division of Kimberly Clark and Lee.
Wow.
Retired bricklayers. What else? We got anything interesting? Nah, GE employee. That's about it. Okay, nothing good. So the openings here in court for the trial, the prosecutor in the opening remark says that he went to Vermont the day before the shooting, asking a friend to buy him a gun that he used the next day to kill his wife. It's pretty clear what's going on here. He had a gun for exactly 24 hours before he used it on his wife. What are you talking about?
Right.
He said also he's made threats against his wife 2 days before. He said he's going to make her suffer like she never has before.
Yeah.
And he says that's premeditation and also illegal possession of the firearm that somebody else bought in another state and gave to you, which you can't do. So there's a lot going on here. Yeah, you're going to find it. Now, the defense, he's got a ballsy defense, by the way. A guy named George Crane is his defense attorney. He said that he gets in front of the jury, okay, doing his opening.
Yeah.
He's walking back and forth, trying to look good, and he says, you know what this shooting wasn't? It wasn't accidental.
No.
Wasn't accidental. He said, and guess what else, too? This guy sitting over here, my client, perfectly mentally competent.
He did it.
He's sane as can be, and it wasn't an accident. He said, so there's that. He goes, but knowing those two facts, which sound bad for us, yes, they do.
Worst things I've had to say in court, but
not a good thing. He said, I will explain to you how this shooting is actually non-criminal in nature.
Oh, boy.
Non-criminal.
In nature, yeah.
Not an accident, and he's not mentally, he doesn't have mental problems. But he's mentally, yeah.
Shot
and
her
he's
twice
a really good shot.
Because he shot her, missed, it got up. You know how flies are. Landed right back down.
Boom, pow, got him. So this is crazy. So after the openings are just bullshit anyway, by the way. Yeah. Openings are the dumbest thing in court. Because they just give the jury like the Wikipedia read of it. Look, we're going to say this guy shot this guy, and then we're, blah, 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 blah.
It's
bad
the
guy,
trailer.
good.
Yeah.
But they don't have to say facts. They don't have to do anything. It's to the point where the judges, and they do this all the time, but the judge here, cautions the jury to consider only the evidence, and they always say opening statements are not evidence. Yeah. So why the fuck bother?
Right.
Just say those were two blowhard assholes. We let them talk in the beginning, at the end, so they feel better about themselves because they did all that paperwork. You know what I mean? Just they need to do that.
Just give them the floor.
Just give them the floor. We say, you know what? We're all paying attention. Wink, wink. So the first thing they do is a juror field trip, which I never understand why they do this. You have pictures. You don't need to see the crime scene unless he couldn't have shot the person because he was here and the angle doesn't allow for it or something like that. But this is an apartment where somebody shot his wife 3 times. There's no reason to go stand there.
I don't know. Sometimes it's kind of cool because even when I went to the Ford Theater in D.C., I see where Lincoln was shot, and then I see where when you see where he got transported to, it looks a lot smaller.
Yeah. You imagine it being grand.
Yeah. Then you're like, a president died there, huh?
Yeah. The Watergate Hotel.
Yeah.
Remember, our room was right across.
Right next door to Libby. Yeah.
It was right across from the room, the scandal room, they called it, and they did tours of it. And we were going to our room, and there's just a group of people in front of the door, and we're like, And then we saw what was going on, and we're like, oh, okay, let's go. We want to see that shit too. Right here?
So sometimes you want to see it. And with a murder scene, you kind of want to see it because you got to know, like, in your mind, everything's so much different. Then you see it, and you're just like, oh, it's not. There's nothing important about this at all.
It's just an apartment.
This is all stupid.
Yeah, and they take 16 people there to do that.
In an apartment.
My God, cram them all in there. So also, there's an argument over the photos here, and they said that again, he brings up that the photo shouldn't come in because it's a non-criminal killing. Right. Which I don't know how it's not self-defense. I don't get it. I don't get how that would be.
What's he doing?
There's only a few reasons you can legally kill someone with a gun. You know what I mean? And I don't think she fell into any of those by any stretch of the imagination. So
the vast majority of those reasons are going to be self-defense.
Yeah, and then he said it would get to be explained over the course of the deal here. Yeah. So they bring one of the cops up on the stand. This is his buddy, and he said, well, he told me, quote, the devil made me do it. She was cheating on me. So, that goes, devil and cheating. When the devil and cheating get together, it's rough. Another patrolman said that he also, heard him say that he did it, and, everybody heard him say he did it. They bring in experts to an expert testimony on the issue of criminal responsibility. Yeah. The defense's expert claims that George was suffering from a major affective disorder, a major depression, and a psychotic condition at the time of the slayings here. He said the experts said that in his mind, he is not criminally responsible for what happened.
Okay.
He went into a meltdown here. Now, meanwhile, the state's expert said that his depression was a grief reaction, a reaction generally associated with death, and the expert was of the opinion that he was grieving over the breakup of his marriage, but that means nothing for criminal responsibility. Mm-hmm. You have to be hallucinating things for that, I thought she was a dragon would have been a better excuse, literally. I thought she was the devil would have been, we can work with that.
Yeah.
The devil made me do it. Sorry, that's not borderline.
Good. Yeah.
So he argues here as defense that the evidence as a whole demonstrates that his wife was the emotional aggressor, and that her conduct shattered him and destroyed him as a husband and father. Oh. This is his criminal case, okay? I don't feel as good about my penis as I should, is his criminal case. He points to the fact that he was not a hoodlum or a gangster. He had no prior criminal record, and that he had a good relationship with his wife prior to the last 6 months of their marriage. The defense also offers evidence from friends and coworkers who noticed all the things we said before, the deterioration in his physical and emotional health after she had left and everything like that. So they're building this thing, this shattered, broken, emotional man, and they put him on the stand. He testifies.
Oh, boy.
It's him sobbing for the entire time. He sobs his way through testimony. Always. When his lawyer questions him, when the fucking cross-examination comes, doesn't matter.
Oh, my.
So, testifying on his own behalf, he admitted shooting his wife. Yeah. Listen, I shot her.
I can't hide that, yeah.
Then he sobbed. And he said, but I never meant to hurt my wife. I never touched a hair on her head.
No.
And until I shot her 3 times and stuck scissors in her fucking crotch. Before that, it was all peaches and cream.
Maybe you should have messed with the hair instead of what you did. Give her a noogie. Don't do what you did.
Yeah. There you go. Hey, you fucking rascal. There you go. Now get on out of here and have fun with your new fella.
I hear he's bigger and better.
I hear he's got a strapper on him. So he said that, he gets up there. Jesus fucking Christ. He told the court that the marriage had been wonderful until last spring. And then he said the Saturday before Easter, we went dancing, Mountain View restaurant. You've all been there. You know how it goes. She danced all but one dance with Donald Lombard. So what was I to think? You know what I mean? Yeah. When we got home, I confronted her. She said she wanted a divorce. And he said on the stand, quote, she just cut me off. She told the court they had no sexual relations for months, this before she moved out. Yeah. Then he said that he caught his wife receiving phone calls from someone that he thought was Lombard. And he said the phone would ring once and then it would be dead. So he tried calling his wife from work and let the phone ring once before he hung up. A few minutes later, the pay phone at work rang.
Okay.
That's how he did it. It wasn't even he calls back in a couple minutes. She calls him back on the pay phone at work.
One ring and then call the pay phone. So I don't call you. Right.
Yeah. So he suspected it and went over to the pay phone. And that's when he picked up the phone and she said, hello, lover. And he went, how's it going?
Yeah.
And she freaked the fuck out because she didn't expect that. That's fucking wild. So, he said that whole thing, the hello lover thing. He said that when she moved out, she didn't. She did it by simply not coming home one day from work, and that was terrible. She said he got a call from his mother-in-law asking him to bring the couple's 3 children to her house for the afternoon, which he did, and then he found out that they were gone forever. So that was that.
Wow.
Yeah, he said that. Quote, I made more attempts to try to get her back. Why did she want to ruin a beautiful marriage? My children, the furniture. I got that girl anything she wanted. We had $8,000 worth of furniture. So in one breath, why did she have to ruin our beautiful marriage? My children, the furniture. My God, the furniture, man. I got a credenza you wouldn't believe, and this is crazy. The kids are one thing, but our furniture, we could have made something of ourselves.
The hutch is beautiful. It's great.
The armoire. Good God. Oh, the hutch. $8,000 worth of furniture. Then he said, I never meant to hurt my wife. I never touched a hair on her head. And this is 4 of these. Never, 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 never. And then burst out sobbing. That's what he did.
You stabbed what makes her a woman, you son of a bitch.
Oh, man. So, yeah, he told the court that he bought the gun, the assistance of his friend, about it's all for the frightening phone calls. So he was scared. He said that just wanted to talk to his wife that day. He wasn't wanting to shoot her. Said they argued for about 15 to 20 minutes. She's pointing at the crotch, saying all that stuff. Yeah. And he says, I went blank and I shot her. So then cross-examination comes up. And during this, George says he couldn't remember getting the guns from the hutch. He could remember getting them from the hutch, but he couldn't remember firing them at all. He said that he could remember talking to neighbors and the police, but could not recall responding good when they said she's dead. Yeah, he doesn't remember that at all. He also said that he could remember being interviewed by a state police detective, but that he was at the hospital and under medication, so he doesn't even know what he said. He doesn't remember at all, which very well might be true.
Yeah.
Because he had been taken to the hospital. He said that he had made threats, but he said he would have never actually hurt his wife.
Okay.
So to that, the prosecutor answers, "Do you remember putting scissors into your wife's vagina?"
Yeah.
His answer was this, which is not a good answer, let's just say.
Yeah.
Quote, "It wasn't scissors, they were wire cutters."
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
My question withdrawn. I apologize. Prosecution rests. You know what? The state's going to dismiss the charges. We thought it was just wire cutters, Your Honor. It's fine.
Jesus Christ. They were wire cutters. That tells you exactly right there. He knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah, he knew. He remembered. I didn't remember anything until there were wire cutters. Then he said just the plastic part. I said I'd cut her, but it was just the handle of the damn thing. It wasn't, though. That's not true. He just said that in court.
All the way up to the handle.
He was, yeah. He said, I only threatened to beat her up if she left me. But I would see her every day at work, and I would never hurt a hair on her head. Oh, you didn't beat her up at work? Thank you. You're very chivalrous. Yeah. That's very nice. Jesus Christ, you're a charmer, aren't you? So he then told the court here that quite a few of the prosecution witnesses had lied. That's what he's saying, including his friend Hurley, who said that Schnapps had threatened to strangle his wife because he had 3 beers and he got a little loose. And he said, damn it, why'd I say that? Why'd I say that? Shit. He set a drawing showing the furniture in the they had like diagrams where everything was. He said, by the way, your drawing of where the furniture was incorrect.
That's not how I decorate.
Yeah. He said in the dining room, according to the drawing entered into evidence, the dining room tables and chairs were against the wall. He said the table was usually in the center of the room with just enough space to walk between the table and the counter, separating the dining room from the kitchen. You fucking amateurs.
Against the wall is tacky.
Against the wall. Looks like we're just looking for room. That's all
I
it
can
looks
afford all the chairs. I had it in the center.
I just did it in the center. Boom. He told the court also that in the morning the table had been in the center of the room where the drawing shows where her body was lying. He said he asked what he said. He said he asked behind the table. Oh, that's right. He got up from the table to get the guns from the hutch, and he says that the police or quote someone had moved over the furniture after the shooting.
Oh, okay.
They might have moved it out of the way.
Probably the paramedics to work on the body.
Well, that they have to do. She was gone. They do the crime scene, and for a crime scene, they get a perimeter. Yeah. They walk around it. I mean, that's what they do. They got to look at it, chalk it off, the whole deal. So he also denies telling his neighbor that he was going to California to let his wife have the apartment. He said that although he had not seen his 4-year-old daughter in a week on the day of the shooting, he told his neighbor that he wanted his daughter to stay at her house while he talked to his wife. He said, I wanted her to come with the kids. And then all the time. And then the prosecutor said, but you didn't want them there on October 13th. He said, I didn't want the baby there in case there was an argument.
An accident.
An accident. That's the fucking court record says ACC ... an argument. He said in case there was an argument. That is one of the best fuck-ups on the stand of anybody who's ever been charged with murder.
I didn't want the baby there to watch me murder her mom. Have to have a chat with her. You know what I mean?
Make mud pies in the yard. That's what I meant. Murder mud, it's very close.
Make murder pies.
Make murder pies. I meant mustacholi. What was I thinking? So they said, do you remember what you were doing with the gun? And he began to weep loudly at that point. And he said, I don't remember. No matter what you say, I loved my wife more than anything in the world.
We know you did. And we know that's why you did this, because you didn't want to lose her.
None of that helps, sir. No. That's the problem. So they had a recess and then a lunch break so that he could calm down. They're like, let's do a recess and lunch break together so that's just a little more time for him to get his shit together. According to his lawyer, George was suffering from palpitations before the lunch break, but was feeling better afterwards. No doctor needed that day in court.
I took a pill.
Took a pill. During the closing here, the defense attorney asked the jury to believe that Schnapps never intended to kill his wife. Quote, just as you may believe his admission that he shot her, believe the other. Believe him just as much when he says he didn't mean to hurt her.
Yeah.
You know, if you can believe one thing, why not believe the other? He called the situation a, quote, great tragedy, and quoted a passage from Dante's Inferno about the abandonment of hope.
Oh, go on.
Bro, there's a retired bricklayer in that jury. He's like, shut the fuck up, fucking fancy schoolboy. What are you talking about? Oh, my God. He spoke about the age difference as well, and he said there was a very close-knit community, and he said there's an age difference. It was very sensitive. We know there's all these gossip going around about this fucking affair that's happening and blah, blah, blah. He then says it was the ultimate destruction of George when she indicated private parts of her body and told George something had replaced him, something bigger and better. This was like castration. He had lost his wife, his family, and suddenly he symbolically lost his manhood.
So you can murder her for that?
That's apparently non-criminal. Apparently, I've never heard of that before.
Get it?
I don't know what century that would be from.
Every juror should just be like, and
keep going. And then she whipped out a big knife out of her parka and tried to stab him. No? Fuck. Okay. He said the crime was committed by George, quote, against his own interests.
Okay.
Poor bastard. That's what his stance. The prosecution says that, quote, this is no different than any other murder case.
Yeah.
That's it. Hard, solid evidence. There's her. Yeah. She's dead. He had the gun. Told everyone he did it. Not even a question of mental competence. What the fuck are we talking about? He bought a gun the day before and bullets and told the guy that the bullets are too good for her and he should strangle her instead. You know, that's not, what are we talking about here? And he said there's plenty of evidence of premeditation, everything like that. So they do the deliberations here. They have the choice of finding him innocent, guilty of first-degree murder, or guilty of second-degree murder.
Oh.
First degree is deliberation and premeditation. Second degree involves malice afterthought. So,
I mean,
there you go.
He bought the gun yesterday.
That's what I mean.
She's dead today.
Yeah,
that's
what I'm saying.
As premeditated as it gets.
It's not like even like 3 years went by and he was like, "Ooh, I bought that gun 3 years ago, and let me go get that."
I mean, I statistically, a gun in the house ups the chances of somebody getting shot infinitely.
Because there's a gun.
Yeah, because there's now a gun.
Yeah.
Nobody can get shot when there's no gun, but...
Well, yeah, it's hard to accidentally shoot yourself while cleaning your imaginary gun.
Right, while cleaning no gun.
Yeah. Or shooting yourself. Also, that's also suicides, too. You got to put in.
So I guess the fact that she being shot is not because... not just because... It's because he had a gun. You know what I mean?
He had that gun.
He has it now. Right. That's why she's shot. But also, he just bought it yesterday. So that's the reason that she got shot, is because he just went and got a gun.
That's what I'm saying. If he used a shotgun, it would have been less, obvious. So the jury deliberates for 2 hours. 2 hours, and he is found guilty, obviously, but we'll see of what. Guilty of first-degree murder.
Yes.
He is found here, 2 hours. Also, they found him guilty of an additional charge of illegal possession of a firearm.
Yeah.
So sentencing comes around.
What about that mutilating a body shit? Can they hit him with that, too?
It's 80, so who knows if they even had anything like that.
It's
they didn't
exceptionally cool,
imagine.
Right?
I would say so, yeah. It's definitely something. It should be some desecration, some kind of something. But I guess they could say it's part of the Murder Act. And it's, whatever. First-degree murder either way. So he is sentenced to, you, sir, may fuck off, life in prison without parole.
Yeah, good.
No chance of parole. And also 1 year for illegal possession of the firearm.
Yeah.
But they'll run concurrently.
Sure.
Why not? So... Spring of 1981 comes around, a few months later, because there's an automatic appeals on life sentences.
Right.
The state Supreme Court orders a retrial because the judge did not offer the jury the option of a manslaughter verdict. He thinks that it should have been first, second, and manslaughter should have been the 3, and that's a lesser sentence. But instead, he instructed him on 1 and 2. Either way, you didn't get found guilty at 2. Either way, it's 1.
You weren't going to get 3 anyway.
That's what you couldn't even get 2.
No.
They're definitely not going to give you 3. So, but they're saying whatever. So they end up getting a retrial, and it's in summer of 1981. So very quickly we'll go through this. They said that, listen, no doubt that he picked up the handgun. He put his finger around the trigger. 3 bullets were discharged, and his wife died as a result of that. That's true. He goes, that's fine. That's true. He said, but he said that what you don't know is we're going to show you his state of mind. She took the children from him and all of that, and everything like that. So don't worry about it. We think he's not guilty, and we think he's crazy. That's the other thing.
Okay.
Prosecution gives the exact same everything as the first trial because they crushed it, so they don't need to fix their fucking game there. So it was just the instructions that were bad, and that wasn't their fault. So they go over, they get all the evidence again. This time they get some shrinks in there. They get a psychiatrist, Dr. Robert Mezzer from Hollywood, Florida, who says that George is suffering from a major psychotic depressive episode on the day of the shooting. And he said that 20% of adult women and 8 to 10% of adult men in some time in their lives experience a major psychotic episode of the type that Mr. Schnapps underwent. Yeah. He says, quote, it's not a rare disease, if that's what you're asking. So unhelpable. He's like, it's like he got pancreatic cancer, just pops up. Can't fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they also bring in interviewers from the state side who say that he was suffering from no mental disorder when I interviewed him. Sobbing isn't a mental disorder.
No, it's not.
You know what I mean? Like that would criminally relieve you of responsibility. He says that he said that he can, if you believe all he tells you, you can take it whatever way you want.
Yeah.
It's how do you believe the patient all the time? It's one of those things. And for when someone's got motivation to lie, it's different. So they said he was functioning reasonably well, and they said that he should be fine. This guy was like, he should be fine. So in the closing, again, our prosecutor purchased the gun the day before, A, B, C, D.
Yeah.
He then said, quote, the question is not, is he a good murderer? It's if he didn't do it well, it doesn't mean it was. If he didn't do it well, it doesn't mean it wasn't planned.
Right.
Just because he's bad at this doesn't mean that he didn't plan it out. Because that's what their thing. Look how poorly it went down. Would you plan that? Well, if you're him.
Yeah.
So they gave instructions on the evidence this time and said now there's 5 possible verdicts. Not guilty by reason of insanity, voluntary manslaughter, or first and second degree murder. Okay. So now they're covering all their bases. Yeah. Jury took less than an hour and a half paperwork, basically.
Very quick.
Find him guilty of first degree murder. And this judge here says, you, sir, may fuck back off to Walpole Prison for the rest of your life with no parole. Mister.
Wow.
So that's it. First degree murder, life without parole.
At Walpole.
Twice in the same fucking 12-month period.
Yeah.
Now, November the 23rd, 1991, he is 69 years old, and he dies at Lemuel Shattuck Hospital, where he was admitted on November 12th. So right before Thanksgiving, he lasted 10 years in prison, and that was it. He croaked. So done.
Yeah, because he didn't get the help he needed before he hurt somebody. And that shit will eat you up until you fucking die.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And I also found that in 1999, Daniel Lombard died as well. Or Donald Lombard. Yeah. Sorry, not Daniel. Donald Lombard died as well. Old Donnie LaBamba died.
Something tells me he fucked himself to death.
Donnie LaBamba was just exhausted. They found him laying there dehydrated and fucking just parched. And
with a very limp.
They're like, are you all right? He's like,
I'm
He's
out.
Like when Quagmire was on Tinder for 6 months.
Yeah. Just try.
It hurts to the light. He's like, oh, what's going on out there? It's been a parade of vagina. I can't get it out of my head.
That's Donnie. I'm sure his life was fantastic.
Right? Now, I don't know if this is him or not, but there is a road in Hinsdale, Massachusetts, which is 35 minutes away, called George Schnapp Road.
What?
So I don't know if that's just a coincidence. It's Schnapp, not Schnappsa,
right.
But still, I don't know if that's a coincidence or if they named a road to honor a murderer. I'm not sure.
That is fascinating.
That's wild. It's too weird not to bring up. Put it that way. I got to mention it at least. So. It's super fucking weird.
Wife Murderer Road?
Wife Murderer Road.
Unbelievable.
Sobbing Breakdown Drive.
If you're in a bad marriage or you're a breakup, and get the fucking help you need.
Seriously.
Jesus Christ.
We can tell you the obvious of like, it'll get better, it'll change, it feels bad now. That's the obvious shit. But when you're feeling depressed like that sort of shit just bounces off.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Bullets off of armor. That shit doesn't matter. So
who cares about what it will be, what it is today? It sucks.
Get the help you need. Yeah. And if someone just hands you a bottle of Valium and sends you home, that's not the help you need, obviously.
Get that.
Don't get that help. Get different help because this type of shit, this didn't need to happen.
No. Senseless
This is somebody...
man.
This is completely somebody unraveling over a 6-month period and turning into a psychotic lunatic.
Yeah.
In public. Yeah. Before everybody's eyes.
Right.
Like it's and nobody, there's nothing you can do to step in with an adult though.
And 4 children have no parents.
And 4 children. Well, 3 have no parents.
4. Because the other one's mom is dead.
There's a 4th.
Yeah.
He's got 1 and that's right. No, 3 because that 4th one wasn't hers. Oh no, he's dead too now.
Mom's
but he
dead
died
too.
in prison.
That mom was dead too.
Oh, that's right. Mom died too. Shit, you're right. They're all
There's
dead.
4 kids with no fucking
Everybody's
parents.
dead. Yeah, they're all dead, goddammit. So, what a disaster.
The worst.
That, everybody, is North Adams, Massachusetts.
Gee.
Quote from Jimmie, the worst. There you go. He just said it, so there you go.
What a story.
It's a crazy fucking story. It's just very strange and, it seems like it's so strange. It seems like it's one of these stories. It scares me because it feels like it could happen tomorrow. Any day, anytime, anywhere,
absolutely.
Next door to you,
absolutely,
and wherever. It's universal.
1979 can still hurt us today.
Can still hurt. Once the devil possesses your house, it's hard to get out of that. It really is. Starts whispering in your ear. What are you supposed to do with that?
Certainly don't go tell that man that you've gotten something bigger and better.
I would say not.
Because he's right on the edge.
Well, I'll tell you what. If you like this show, you can not tell him that, but tell the world about liking the show. Get on whatever app you're listening on and platform, whatever the fuck, and give us 5 stars because it really helps us out a lot. We don't know why, but it helps drive us up the charts. So help your boys out right here. Also, in case you don't know, every Friday now, Friday nights, we are going to be releasing a short Small Town Murder episode. Not a shorter version of our long show or anything like that. Here's your breeze through. No. This is these are totally separate stories.
Stand
every
alone.
Week. They're the crazy stories that are so fucking crazy that they've been. I had just a stockpile of these stories where I'm like, oh my God, I wish there was more to this story in terms of backstory to really flesh it out for an episode because holy shit, the craziest thing happened. So we decided let's have a platform for those stories that are just so insane they need to be told. And that's what we're going to be doing every Friday. Check that out. And it's out right now. Yeah. And last week's is out and next week's is coming tomorrow. So enjoy those. Head over to shutupandgivememurder.com as well. Get all your merchandise, new shirts up and bags and cups and mugs and fucking water things.
It's all
name
there.
It.
Yeah.
Skateboards. We have it all, damn it. Check that. It's true. He laughs, but we have skateboards. I own them. So go over there. Also, get your tickets not only to the live shows, which are coming up in May. We have Detroit and Cincinnati. They're sold out anyway. You can't get tickets to those. So never mind those. Yeah. I think Philly and DC are also, the next 2 months of shows are sold out. Your ass out. The only place you can see us, if you don't already have tickets in the next few months, is going to be May the 5th.
Yes.
When we do our virtual live show, Cinco de Mayo. No sellout there. No matter how many people buy tickets, you're all going to see the same show and have the same great seats in your own home. We don't care. In your apartment, in your office. You can go to a fucking... I don't care where you go, to be honest with you.
Are you angry that you can't get us on Netflix, Hulu, or some other streaming service? Put us on your TV on your own.
And then watch us in a public bathroom. We don't care. That's what we're saying. Wherever you want to watch it. It's up to you, wherever you're comfortable.
Mirror us on a bar TV.
That would be amazing. Do it up. Check it out. We'll be there. It's shutupandgivememurder.com. Get your tickets. We cannot wait to see you there. I don't know if they're for sale right this minute. They should be any second now.
Yeah.
If they're not, though, keep trying. Yeah. And what you can do, where to check would be shut up and give, or not that. Check would be social media.
Yeah.
You can check us out at Murder Small on Twitter, at Small Town Pod on Facebook, or at Small Town Murder on Instagram to get you all the latest and greatest and know what the hell's going on. Also, you definitely want Patreon. Yeah. Patreon.com/CrimeInSports is where you get all of the good stuff. More good stuff, we should say here. For $5 or above, you're a king or a queen or whatever. You get everything, damn it. Not just you can cherry pick not just the Small Town Murder bonuses, also the Crime and Sports bonuses, which cross over pretty good. They're not just, it's not like some story about an athlete most of the time. It's like death, destruction, mayhem, weirdness. This week, no different. You get both shows, and we are going to give you, for Crime and Sports, the time when Tiger Woods got attacked by his wife with a golf club. And what he did to cause that situation, because that really was his fault.
That was the peak.
That was pretty gross.
For the public into the life of... we didn't know all the shit he was up to until that moment.
The most upstanding guy with this beautiful fucking calendar-looking wife and all this, and next thing you know, he's got like a black eye and a broken windshield, and she's got a golf club in her hand. You're like, what happened? What happened is gross, and we'll talk about it.
Into a fire hydrant in a tree.
Ugh. Exactly. And we're like, is he drunk?
And it hasn't stopped since.
It's been weird since. We'll talk about that whole incident and what happened there. And then for Small Town Murder, it's the prisoner dating game. Is back again. I can hear music playing. This is amazing. Prisoner dating game. We're so excited. Or I do the same thing. I line up. It's the all felon edition, all violent felon edition, I should say. So you're not going to get one and be like, oh, well, they did some drugs. Well, that's boring. No. These people are going to be a disaster. And what we're going to do, I'm going to pick 4 ladies, 4 gentlemen, and I'm going to lay them out before Jimmie. I'm going to read Jimmie their pitch on their dating websites, on the prison sites. Read what the pitch is, and Jimmie, based on nothing but those pitches, is going to pick himself a lady and a gentleman. Yeah. And then afterwards, he's going to find out, A, who they are, what they look like, things like that. But more importantly, what the fuck they did to belong in there. That's going to be a lot of fun.
I love it.
Check that out. Oh, it's the best show we have, I swear to God. Patreon.com/CrimeAndSports is where you get all of that. We do those about twice a year, and they're the best. They're the most fun. So we can't wait. Do that. Come see us and blah, blah, blah. Everything like that. Oh, and you're going to get a shout-out.
That's right.
When are you going to get a shout-out? Right fucking now is when you're going to get a shout-out. Yeah. Speaking of that, Jimmie, hit me with the list of the names of people who would never, ever, ever, ever kill us because we pointed to our crotches and said they couldn't have it. Hit me with them now.
These people might, James.
They might, actually, yeah. Thank you for always supporting the show and, helping a couple of guys who started out in a shitty apartment with bad microphones, and we've come a long way.
Nothing.
So thank you.
We had nothing
all from you guys.
In the ass wives.
Nothing but wives who hated us and we didn't have sex with. So it's terrible. And now we're much happier. So thank you for that. You've changed our entire lives. Yeah. We cannot thank you enough. If you want to find us, very easy to do it. Head over to shutupandgivememurder.com, and there's links to our social media, everything like that. You can just Google Small Town Murder Podcast hosts. Here we are. Yeah. That's us, only us. So do that. Keep coming back, goddammit, week after week after week. And until next week, everybody, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
A few miles from the glass spires of Midtown Atlanta lies the South River Forest. In 2021 and 2022, the woods became a home to activists from all over the country, who gathered to stop the nearby construction of a massive new police training facility, nicknamed Cop City.
At approximately 9 o'clock this morning, as law enforcement was moving through various sectors of the property, an individual, without warning, shot a Georgia State Patrol trooper.
This is We Came to the Forest, A story about resistance.
The abolitionist mission isn't done until every prison is empty and shut down.
Love and fellowship.
It was probably the happiest I've ever been in my life.
And the lengths we'll go to protect the things we hold closest to our hearts. Follow We Came to the Forest on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.